All right.
Before we start though, man, DMX, bruv. He needs a statue, man.
Statue where?
DMX needs a statue.
For what?
For what?
For verse number 2, the song with Cisco.
All right, so let's start the podcast.
DMX
guys.
gave us a whole verse.
Yo, let's start the podcast.
Of running down the amazing women that he'd been with.
Oh, you're still on
And
this?
making it rhyme.
Oh, you're still on it?
Yeah.
It was
I'm making it rhyme.
LaShawn.
Yo,
DMX needs a statue, bro.
What was it
How
again?
did you know he was with them?
Huh?
How did you know he was with them?
I don't know who they were to
About
but it
three
sounded
Kims.
hard. Yo, 3 Kims? How many Kims have you met that haven't been nice?
Who is your brother?
Wasn't Kim in the Parkers kind of
Who
boss?
was he? Kim.
Yeah, but you didn't meet her, did you?
No,
I
she
don't
was
even know
clapped.
Kim.
I know Kim that was boss.
All the Kims I've known
the Parkers.
have been fire. That don't count. Like, don't be disrespectful.
Shout out Kim Parker, man.
Kim Parker
Real,
was dead.
man.
She tried to get with,
Little short fat thing.
Yeah.
she tried to get with Hakeem like for the longest. For
the longest, man.
In Moesha, like.
Yo.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Hakeem couldn't get away quicker.
For real.
Fucking
Nah,
hell.
fam.
Shout out Kim. She ain't dead though.
She wasn't rough.
No, Hakeem's there.
I think he's dead. Yeah. Shit. Why are we on this?
But yeah, man.
This is the
dog,
intro.
Listen, the
Massive-
DMX statue needs to be done.
Nah.
That verse is amazing.
Yo. There's a couple people ahead of him, bro.
No.
There's a couple people ahead of him.
You can't wait just for that verse.
Yeah, just for that verse alone. Verse number 2. Brenda, Letitia,
Lon,
Linda,
LaShawn,
Felicia,
I feel you.
Sean,
Dawn LaShawn.
Wait, you
Inez,
actually-
Felicia.
Wait,
LaShawn.
you actually googled the lyrics.
That's
Yeah,
not
hold
his
on.
name.
Continue.
Teresa,
LaShawn's
Monica,
name is not
Sharon,
good.
Nikki, Lisa, Veronica, Karen,
Karen, Vicky.
and Cookie. Yo, I met her at the ice cream parlor.
You never met a cookie.
I continue.
Yo,
No
do you know why
one's
that
ever met
was
Cookie.
genius? The irony of Cookie in an ice cream
He didn't
parlor.
mean that. He didn't mean that.
This is them every time.
Yo, continue, man.
This is them every
Yo,
time.
don't
You've now
finish
got
off.
an insight into what happened
That's it,
before.
that's
the
it.
sexual
No,
assault.
we can't give him no more.
Where'd you get up
man.
to?
They rap with each other a lot. It's very
Where'd you
concerning.
get up to? Where'd you get up to? Ah, shit, I can't even find it.
Cookie in an ice cream
Tanya,
parlor.
Diane, Loreen,
Like, he's trying to make things deep that aren't that deep.
Selena, Katrina,
That's genius,
Sabrina,
though.
about
About
3
three
Kims,
Kims.
Latoya, Tina,
See how the way he
Shelly,
just engaged
Bridget,
it.
Kathy, Rashida,
Nicole, Manita, Stacy, Tracy.
Yeah, yo, 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 yo,
What's going on, world? Welcome to episode 12 of the Rhymes Like Dimes podcast with me, Yemi, Mo, and Peter. And today is the day we have a very, very special guest, our first guest on the podcast. He goes by the name of Richard. He is me and Peter's brother. So, welcome, boys.
Hey,
my brother, no?
It's good.
Thank you for
Cause he's
having
my brother.
me. No, we're all brothers, man.
You know what I mean,
Like,
fam?
just
I mean, we're brothers.
Some
Yeah,
more
let's leave it
biologically
like that,
than
fam.
We're
others.
brothers.
Yeah, leave it like that then.
Yeah,
Fair enough. We're all brothers. Fair enough.
good, man.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Rich.
Thank you. What's going on?
Not much, man. How's it?
Hey, rhymes like dimes.
Hey.
What's
I
everyone
just,
saying?
I just sound like Roll Safe. Rhymes like dimes.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
What's everyone
How's
saying?
it-
What's everyone saying?
Good,
All good, man.
God is
yeah,
good.
man.
It's the end of the
time.
week.
Still warm outside. Can't complain.
100%.
It's been a good week.
It's been an amazing week.
ASAP's out.
ASAP is out.
Shout out to Pepe.
Pepe signed.
Shout out to
Pepe
Pepe.
signed.
Days.
Shit,
Black Lionel Messi.
that's
Relax.
what they call him.
He's not better than Ryan Brewster.
Yeah.
Wow.
Black Nicholas Pepe.
Big up Harvey.
How are you, Yemi?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Just here, man. Chilling. Been a good week.
Yeah.
Haven't done much.
Why?
I think. I don't know. I haven't done much. I was in Lisbon last week.
Hey, how was that?
It was good.
Lisbon's dope.
Lisbon is very good. Friendly people, cheap food, cheap Ubers.
Oh, that's perfect.
Cheap Ubers.
Well, I
Hey,
catch
man,
Uber.
the
That's
Ubers are anywhere between €2 and like $7. It's
Nice.
really not that bad.
That's like
It's really
Cyprus.
not that bad at all. But
The thing I love about Lisbon as well is like you can just walk around as a black guy and just not feel like it.
at all.
You know what I mean? That's kind of how I measure like my enjoyment in European countries. Like how many times I got stared at, how many times I just blended in.
There's a
Portugal,
really,
you blend in.
there's a really strong Asian community there as well. I didn't realize.
Asian.
yeah?
Yeah,
Oriental
there's
or Asian Pakistani?
They got like
like Chinese, Japanese, Korean,
they got Angolans, people from Mozambique.
crackheads.
Oh yeah,
So crackhead.
so many of those.
One of the first
Shit.
people I saw.
You enjoyed it though, yeah?
It was good. Good vibes.
What about you, man?
Same shit, just working. Everything, same.
Same, man. I've had a quiet week. Just keeping it, low profile on that. It's been good though, man. It's
Quiet
busy.
week.
Sure, mate.
Busy as always.
I'm just giving up for Cyprus,
Wait,
man.
wait, what?
I'm just giving up for another holiday, bro.
Nothing.
I'm just ready to go Cyprus.
You going Cyprus?
Yeah, man, that's all I'm giving up for at this
When
point.
you
man.
going?
And he's dragging me along with him.
Don't know, fam. That's
When?
that's a good friend right there.
2 weeks time, innit?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Oh, man,
But
I
we
wanna
got a
go
friend's
Cyprus.
But yeah, this is a very special day, obviously, for the podcast. Our first guest.
Our first guest.
Like to welcome
Thank you.
you
Hey.
to the crew.
Big up,
You know what I mean?
Big up.
So I guess the first thing to do is to get into who you are and what you do.
When you ask that just bait question, innit?
Got to.
Richard ABIADE is my name. ABIADE is my artist name. I'm the older brother to impressive young lads that you guys know on this podcast.
Yeah.
What do I do when I'm not like procrastinating on my music career? I'm working and paying my bills. You know what I mean?
I'm taking care of a beautiful 1-year-old boy.
Yeah, man. Shout out Zachariah.
Shout out Zachariah.
Man, like
That's
that.
my
Uncle loves you.
Yeah, and his mum as well. Big up Sam.
Big up,
So
Sam.
yeah, that's me in a nutshell, man. And I love J. Cole.
He's better.
Oh, we're gonna get into that one. So what I want to do is I want to start by asking you how basically your hip hop journey started. How did you get into it? Like, what were the first
As a fan,
as a fan? Yeah.
So I think for me is like our big sister was probably the first on the hip hop train. We grew up in a household to it. To be honest, our parents were listening to obviously like Nigerian music and stuff growing up. But my sister got into hip hop quite early. I'm 3 years difference in age to her, so I pretty much piggybacked off her interest. She was into Tupac and all that other stuff. I found who I liked quite early, and I religiously stuck with them and listened to them forever. Bone Thugs and Harmony were the be-all and end-all of hip-hop for me. But then it like kind of developed beyond that. Obviously picked up Jigga Man, and then when I guess when I started digging into other parts of hip-hop as well, like I stuck firmly on who remain like the most important hip hop group to me ever, with the best artist in hip hop ever, Outkast. So you know, from there, and I started making music when I was fairly young as well. So as soon as that happens, like I guess your brain becomes even more of a sponge to everything. So yeah, my journey is one that's kind of very, very fluid. I've kind of gone through all of the high points of hip hop's golden age to acceptance of eras which we kind of want to forget, and now we're in a sort of funny place at the moment where you can still enjoy some of the music. You know what it is, you know, you take it for what it is, but you know, I'm willing to make certain I guess compromises in my taste these days. But for the most part, hip hop's in a good place, and you know, I love it.
So you basically had no choice but to be a hip hop head, basically.
Yeah, and to be honest, like it's the greatest genre ever. It's the best. So I was lucky. Do you know what I mean?
I might argue that.
If my older sister,
Of course you would.
grew up into classical music or whatever, like it would have been really, really upsetting for me. I probably would have grown to appreciate it, but like for me, hip hop is the best genre around if you take in all factors. So for me, I was lucky. So yeah, I love this shit, man.
Feel you.
All right.
I suppose we should get into your top 5. Who are your top
Top 5 rappers.
Ever.
Shit.
All time.
No, in no particular order.
No particular.
5? Your
order.
favorite rappers.
Shit.
Favorite, and then
Andre
No, just
3.
leave that favorite. Leave
Just
that
favourite?
Leave
Okay.
that favorite. Leave that
My
favorite.
favorite, Andre 3000. Top 5, Andre 3000.
and why?
J. Oh, Andre 3000 because he is the most versatile, dynamic, interesting, game-changing, risk-taking, intelligent but funny, unique but accessible artist you will probably ever see. We'll never see another one. Jay because he is the most complete, most important rapper hip hop I think has ever seen in terms of cultural impact, in terms of his contributions through his albums, his rapping style, his technique, and just the songs in it. Like we focus so much on lyricism and all of the rest that sometimes we just forget about one's ability to just make smash after smash after smash, both in terms of singles and in terms of albums. And Jay-Z has had that ability throughout his career and continues to do it. Whether
Peter's
he is,
nodding
whether
real
he,
hard. Peter's nodding real hard.
yeah, so that's that. Number 3, shit, I didn't I wasn't expecting. You should have prepared me.
Sorry.
Number 3, I would probably say Kendrick Lamar has to be number 3. I think I don't want to. Kendrick Lamar is like the single best like rapper alive right now. Like, in terms of, he is still very early into his career in many respects. You could probably guarantee he'll be here for another 10 to 15 years of dropping albums as long as he's interested in doing it. Nobody, I don't think, in hip-hop history has come in with classic after classic after classic/near classic, depending on how you feel about Damn. Just prodigious in talent. Like, he's just unbelievable. Number 4, and these are no particular order. Black Thought. Peter's gonna like that.
Hey.
All right, then you had me. I was following you. I was on that path.
The only rapper with a day job.
Now me, fam. Saturday, Monday
Yeah,
to
if we're
Friday.
talking top 5 rappers, Black Thought has to be in the conversation. Is he the top 5 artist in hip hop? No.
Shout out to Jimmy
But is
Kimmel.
he? Huh?
Shout out to Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Kimmel.
I said Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel.
Wait, which one is he on? Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fat.
One of them. He's one.
You're
one of them.
confusing.
Jimmy
You're confusing Jimmy Kimmel with Jimmy Fallon.
Black Thought works for one of them.
Yeah.
Fallon.
Fallon's his
Fallon.
boss.
Yeah. The Roots.
Don't say that.
Also, Fallon's his boss.
Yeah. So number 4.
Don't say that.
Number 4, Black Thought, because again, not the best artist in the world in terms of all of the music. Hasn't done a solo for us really yet, so we don't really know what that would sound like properly. But one of the most ridiculously talented MCs ever. He probably is guilty of staying in his own lane and not coming out of that comfort zone a great deal. But when you listen to Black Thought, you're truly listening to somebody who has the most ridiculous understanding of the English language and rhyming ability. And to be honest, there's not many who will rival that. I think only, from the list I've just said, I think only Andre gets close. And by getting close, he's obviously better than Black Thought. But that's a completely different conversation.
We ain't gonna do that, man.
And then finally, who would I put in as my 5th? Let me just throw in a man from East London, who again has just come back and made me feel like a little kid again with his new music and a new album on the way. I followed his career ever since he come out. I was a massive grime head, super grime head growing up. And he was at the forefront. He was there then. He is here now. He was the best then. He is still the best now. Probably the most perennially overlooked grime artist of them all. Hasn't had the success, huh?
Talk about it.
Hasn't had the success of the bigger names that we now associate with this new surgence of rappers coming out of the UK. But probably if you ask all of the people who are top of the charts right now, they'll all have one name in common in terms of ratings, and that's the man Kano. So yeah, shout out him.
Don't know.
I bigged him up big.
Looking at me for?
You did, to be fair.
That was
at me?
like,
What you
that
looking
was
at me?
like, he would have been.
I don't know,
proud
man.
of that. Like,
Looking at me
that
for?
was
Making
a-
faces.
That was a nice intro. I wish someone was
That was
speaking
a
about
good
me
one.
like
Looking
that.
at me for,
you
fam.
were bare.
So Kano's in your top 5?
Ring announcer.
So Kano's in my top 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you have a UK top 5 or?
Kano better rich
Yeah.
as a rapper.
Yeah.
Just pure rapping.
Yeah.
All right, no doubt, King.
The outnumbered.
Why are you sounding upset for?
No doubt. What can I say? It's a
Top
opinion.
5 UK. In no particular order: Kano, Wiley, D Double, Wretch, and the man J Huss.
Really?
For real?
Yeah.
I get it.
Of all time?
I get it.
My top 5. I mean, yeah.
Already?
Yeah. He's not been around for a week, bro.
Yeah,
He's
but
been
like,
around for a
compared to
minute.
the others, though, he hasn't really. He's
Who
barely
else-
scratched the surface.
He's probably more of a complete artist than all
Who
of
else
them,
should
to
I
be
be
honest.
putting in there?
Then everyone on that list.
Who else,
I'm surprised-
Who else should I be putting
I
in there?
don't. I
Skepta?
didn't hear Dizzy.
Skepta?
I wouldn't put Skepta in there. I probably overlooked Dizzy.
I was quite surprised.
I probably overlooked Dizzy. I wouldn't put Skepta in my top 5.
Well, I'm biased.
Huh?
I'm biased.
Skepta's heavy, like he's second it, like he's just not in my top 5 because I've never really been like the biggest fan of Skepta's rhyming style, like his rapping style. I think sometimes it's quite hurried. I think it's sometimes like trying to fit in too many words to the bars, like too often. And there's a certain level of simplicity that I think he sort of walks on the line of a bit too much.
I feel you.
But Yeah, he's not in my top 5. Dizzy I probably overlooked, but
That's
again,
really
but what I will say about Dizzy is that he made one unbelievable classic album a very long time ago, and then he made a really, really good follow-up. I mean, it's not really been a great deal since. Everybody else who I mentioned, I think, has a stronger catalogue, and in the case of like Jay Haas, like, I mean, the guy's just got the world at his feet, and the contributions that he's made both on his own album, which I do think is a future classic, we were saying before, his collaborations with other people, the throwaway tracks like that he puts out. I mean, we're talking about a top caliber, and you know, when you throw in his youth and where I think he's gonna go, yeah, man, he's one of the artists that gets me most excited in the UK. So for me, top 5, like.
That's interesting, man. Top 5 off like one solo album is interesting.
Is it?
I think it is. I don't know because I feel like to make. I mean, these are your personal 5. That's fine, but for me to make any sort of top 5, there has to be a level of depth there, and I don't know if there's enough music for him to make any sort of list like that for me.
But like D-Double, you know, like D-Double's had a bit of a funny career, you know what I mean? Like he's not really like known as like the solo album guy, you know what I mean? He did Newham Generals, he was known for like freestyles, he was known for the battles and all that stuff, and he would show up on Lord of the Decks and he'd show up on all this other stuff, but like, I don't even know like if he legit had like a proper...
He only released his first proper
you know
album
what I mean?
last
like,
year.
Exactly, so it's like, in many respects, there's no real right or wrong way to do this shit. For me, when I'm looking at favorites and who I think top 5s are, I'm taking a whole bunch of things into consideration. It's lyricism, it's impact, it's the stuff that they have put out. There's potential in there. There's an element of potential in there as well. Like,
but with D-Double, and I'm not the biggest expert, but from what I gauge from like all the other like artists that put him in their 5, there's a certain level of influence and impact there as to why they include him.
he's a forefather, but
Okay, so then I don't know if Huss has done enough, even as far as impact. I think currently there are a lot of people taking his style, his melodies, but Jay Huss.
But for me,
I don't know if that's enough.
Jay Huss is never going to be in a conversation of the greatest right now because he's, like you said, it's a depth thing.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why it's quite surprising that Huss is in his list.
yeah, but because for me, like, if I think, and I genuinely feel this way, that Jay Huss has a classic album on his hands, that's more than a lot of UK artists can say.
Facts.
Fair enough.
You feel me? So, like, he is very, very young into his career. He's obviously had all the legal problems and all that other stuff, but I am looking ahead. And I'm also just looking at the stuff that he's given us. It's one album, but it's a fairly long album. It's like a bunch of tracks. He's had mixtapes before. He's had Lucy's and all that other stuff. Like, his actual catalogue is probably hours long. You know what I mean? Like, so that's a lot of, like, big artists. Like, you could compare that to Dave. You could compare that to a lot of people. They have content, but if you stack them up playlist next to playlist, it's not a great deal of content. Do you know what I mean? So...
And he's easily got the best catalogue out of any of the new.
Yeah, man. He's
well.
just, and he's just like, he's witty, like his delivery, like his bars, like his sound, like, yeah, it's just, I don't think we have a greatest deal of choice in the UK. Still, I think we're better than we've ever been, but like, I still don't think we have the greatest level of variety. So when I'm putting our top 5 together, I don't really want them to be samey artists. I'm giving you quite a range. But yeah, for the things that I like about hip hop, yeah, Jay Huss is definitely top 5 in this country. Definitely.
All right. Fair enough.
Strong.
Do you want to fight?
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
Again, like, you see why he's the reason why the arguments start because he just wants to understand a lot of stuff and then it's like the arguments.
You know what I mean? I give my opinion. He's like,
Listen,
he
man,
wants to understand.
I'm into
passive aggressive. She's like,
He wants to understand.
He's fighting you for your favorites.
No, I'm into psychology.
I said that's
so I
my
like to
favorite. Why is
understand.
it? You're into what?
Psychology.
Right, cool.
I just like to understand.
anyone else I should put in my top 5, Pete?
No, it's cool, man.
You sure?
I accept your top 5. That's
D'Angelo.
cool.
Cool. Well, thank you for that. So I guess we're going to move on now to the first topic that we have for today. And it's basically one that we all have been wanting to do for a very long time.
P more than anyone else.
You reckon? Really?
P has been fiending for this conversation.
I've been waiting for this.
Well, we've been doing...
We've been like a nitty for this conversation.
Yo,
But we've been sprinkling some of the podcasts with this topic. So now I suppose
small DMX
little
stuff.
Salt Bay. So now I suppose it's now time to just get into the proper meat of it. So now what we're going to talk about is
Pause.
I started laughing.
come on,
Jim was
man.
gonna say,
I'm not even a pause guy, but like, it just felt so right. Like,
like the reason why I started laughing is because I didn't want to
Get
be that
into the
guy.
meat of it.
Like it's the way his hand was as well. Get to the meat of it. Like, Yo, whoa,
And doing all them
Sicily.
phallic things there,
Yo,
talking
the
about
mas-
me.
yo,
Anyway,
yo, the masculinity in this room is strong.
Like,
it's toxic.
whoa, Sicily.
Yo, the masculinity in this room.
shit.
Anyway, we're going to get into a critical look at the career
See, let's say that. I can rock with
of
that.
one Jermaine Lamar Cole,
Oh,
otherwise known as J. Cole to all the fans and listeners
even
out
his
there.
parents knew Kendrick was better. Hey,
Right at the gate with the
By the way, yeah.
with the Mazza. Before you say
by the
anything,
it's in the middle
Ain't even
name.
started
It's
yet.
in the middle name.
I ain't
What are
even
you saying?
started
By
yet.
the way, the views of these three guys are the
Yo.
views. Someone has pulled out their phone, yeah, and I'm not making this up. Someone pulled out their phone right now and has a headline of J. Cole.
No, I'm
that's the
I'm
wiki.
just ready.
Like,
I'm ready.
Listen to what
I didn't know you
I'm
could
saying.
get the font that big.
I didn't even know you could get a font that big on a
Yeah,
notepad, by
bro.
the way, yeah.
It's on Wiki.
He's got a... Is it on Wiki?
Yeah,
you got
All
the
right,
Wiki
then.
out.
I thought you wrote down your notepad. I was
Nah,
going to say,
nah,
fam.
nah, nah,
But
nah. I should have
anyway...
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
let's get into it, because I really
Let's get
wanna
into it. Let's get into it.
Yeah,
we just want to get into J. Cole, man, and obviously everyone has their own opinion on my man, J. Cole. So I guess what we want to know is
you
from, well, basically, yeah, and if from the beginning of his career to now, has he fulfilled the potential that his early days promised? And yeah, basically looking at that, man.
So he's going first.
No.
Huh?
To answer the question, no.
You think he hasn't fulfilled
He
the
hasn't
potential?
fulfilled it. Nah.
Do tell.
A little bit from us. Who wants to go first?
I didn't even give you man a chance to
get the question
decide.
out, fam.
Obviously Cole came in the game in like 06, 07. When did it come out? Around that time, right?
06,
That was the first one that I listened to.
That was 6.
And on that project, it was just more so him showcasing his skills. And clearly you could hear that this guy could bar and he had an ear for production. And I think he
Came out 07.
Okay, yeah. So, and I think he made some of the beats on that project as well. So, I think he was one of the first signees of Rock Nation as well. So I was excited as a massive Jay-Z stan. Like, you know, I'm into everything he does. So starting a label, this artist, I was going to check him out. Checked him out, listened to the come up. I was impressed. Then after that, he dropped the warm up. I'm like, oh shit.
He's a problem.
Yeah, this is serious. The music was even better. His lyricism was even better. I was like, right, this guy's definitely on his way somewhere. And I'm just going to give a quick timeline of his career and then we can get into the meat of it. Pause. I had to do
There's
that.
a lot of meat in this room.
Yeah, man. So then the warm up comes up.
Comes
I was like,
Come on.
see, I was trying to just like skip past that.
You caused this.
I mean, like, you can't keep saying it.
I know, I'm sorry. Yeah, so the warm up, which was like very serious to me, and just made me even more excited for like what he was gonna do. And then Friday Night Lights,
Classic.
which I still don't think he's topped.
What are you looking at me for?
I'm just saying, I just still don't think he's topped it. I think it's probably in my top 5 greatest mixtapes ever. His heights as far as lyricism and production was just, it was crazy. And even the way he was spazzing on other people's beats on that was crazy. And then after that, it just kind of went a bit downhill, man. Like he dropped his first solo project, which I think took a while for him to drop just because he couldn't find a single. And then he dropped a single with Trey Songz, which I actually enjoyed. The album came out, and I was just a bit like, I don't know, man. Like I'm kind of a bit underwhelmed with this. And then he dropped another one, Born Sinner. And I still had that same feeling. It was a bit better, but not much. And I still was like, all right, cool. Maybe the next one.
Peter's enjoying this, man.
And then what was the next one? Hold on. I just need to
Look at the
unlock
smile on
my
his
phone.
face. He's Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat.
And then-
2014 Forest Hills.
And then, see, I didn't even, when he dropped that, I didn't listen to that. I kind of turned off.
Which one?
So I've listened to it now, but it took me about 3-4
album?
years before I would listen to it.
Which
3-4
album?
years.
Forest Hill Drive.
3-4 years.
Yeah. I was kind of on a pause with J. Cole.
scanning
So
here, fam, what's scanning
I'd
here?
stopped and then I finally went back to it and I was like, all right, yeah, this is cool. But it's still just like cool. It's his best one. At that point, it was his best one other than the mixtape.
Cool.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
No doubt.
But
Just cool.
I still, yeah.
All right.
But I still wasn't wowed. I was still waiting for something. There was still promise that I felt hadn't been fulfilled yet. And then,
Your
after
Eyes
that,
Only.
For Your Eyes Only, which was, let's not talk about
Have
that
you listened
one.
to For Your Eyes Only?
Yeah, I listened to that.
Have you listened to KOD?
I listened to KOD. And KOD, I appreciated what he was doing, but for what I like to hear, that just wasn't it for me. It was way too trappy for me. I'm not a trap fan, so naturally that album wasn't going to be for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so wherever you man want to chime in, I'm here to
I don't believe anybody who says they don't like trap. Sorry,
I don't like trap.
Well, I disagree with you.
you're a liar.
Yeah, it's kind of mad.
Well, I disagree with
Trap
you.
is everywhere.
What's good
How can
about
you
trap
not?
though?
No, forget trap.
What's good about it?
You're one of them guys who likes Laffy Taffy but doesn't like trap.
Facts.
I like Stanky
And I
Leg.
hate you. See, you like Stanky Leg, but you don't like trap.
I said Laffy Taffy. Anyway,
That's crunk.
personally, I disagree with you completely,
On what part?
all the way. Everything you
Go
said.
on. All right. go on.
The J. Cole fan disagrees.
Listen, let me talk. That was blasphemy.
What part?
Listen, let me finish.
Sorry.
I've got a rant right now, fam. And what you said holds no weight.
Okay, go on.
I just had that.
There was no weight.
Yo,
Anyway, no, honestly. Now it depends on what expectation of Cole was. That's what the question is. What's your expectation of Cole?
What expectation did you have of Cole?
My expectation of Cole was going to be, after listening to the come up, the warm up, and then listening to, for me, top 3 mixtape that's ever come out on Friday Night Lights, it's a dope rapper. I expect a certain amount of projects of him to be at a certain level, and for him to be at a certain level as a rapper. See what I'm saying? Right now, we can't. To me, anyway, Cole's the second best rapper out, in my opinion, out of his era.
after
Kendrick. To me, Kendrick's top 5, top 6 for me of all time anyway. So I feel like he's an alien. That's like once in a generation kind of rapper. Now, if Cole's the second best of his generation, whether his generation is weak or whatever you think about it, to me, has he reached the heights I expected? Yes.
No.
Did I think you're gonna finish?
Sorry.
I had enough of you saying no. Now, did I think Cole was gonna be the greatest rapper of all time? No. Did I have Cole ever in my top 10? No, I didn't. I never saw that potential in Cole. I just saw someone that's gonna be the best in his era, or top 3 in his era, and I feel like he's achieved that. Do I feel like his projects have held the same? Was going on a trajectory? Do I feel like it's come down a little bit? Yeah, because I've always said Cole Silent Story is the worst album he's ever had for me, and that was his first album he dropped. Born Sinner's my favorite album of Cole's. I feel like Born Sinner's a really good album. I feel like 2014 is a solid album. I feel like For Your Eyes Only was For Your Eyes Only, but then to me KOD is solid. So he's giving me 3 out of 5 solid albums, in my opinion.
So
I
basically,
can't be mad at that.
So basically, he's reached the expectations you had of him.
Yeah, because I didn't expect him to be one of the best ever.
So you do reckon people put
It's unfair. It's an unfair.
they
it's
put
an
him
unfair
on a
expectation.
pedestal
Yeah,
and expected
It's
something that they haven't eventually.
if I expect someone
I don't
to
know,
be,
man.
The way Peter's talking is he expected this guy to be Nas.
I think everybody did.
That's you, man.
No, I think
didn't expect that, bro.
No, I think everybody did.
I didn't expect that. What did you lot
think? The thing that we need to remember as well about J. Cole, right, is that when he came into the game, we all knew him from the mixtapes, the come up and the warm up. But his introduction to the world really was basically the red carpet being rolled out to him by Jay-Z. I mean, like he collaborated on A Star Is Born.
He bodied that as well, man.
And he was laid out by the great Jay.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not gonna have anybody saying that they weren't expecting this to be a passing of the baton. Right. And this is one of the reasons why this is a debate. Because everybody knew that when Jay came out, based on the talent level, based on Friday Night Lights, based on A Star Is Born, based on everything that happened around, that this was gonna be the next generation. He was gonna be at the top end of the next generation.
And he is.
He is, as far as fan base, as far as success in sales. But when we're talking about potential, when you guys are talking about potential, to me, I know we're talking about the caliber of this guy's music. We're not going to sit here and we're not going to argue about his success level. We know that he's a multi-millionaire. We know that he's going to sell out every single show he puts out.
Easy.
But ultimately, his music isn't of that level.
But that's subjective. Because I feel like it is. Out of his era, out of his generation, I feel like there isn't... Who's his generation? Like, who's his era?
Drake, me.
The Sean's, the Drakes. I feel like
Kendrick,
he makes better... I feel like he makes better albums than
Meek.
Drake. I feel like he makes better albums than
See,
Sean.
I don't think Drake.
and that's
I
the
don't think.
problem,
I don't
though.
think Drake
That's
has
the-
made a classic album, but I don't think J. Cole has made an album which is really as good as any of Drake's best albums.
But that's
Drake's best album was Take Care.
But that's the problem in itself, though.
I feel like we're not getting into argument about Drake, but I just feel like we went through this last time. Remember we was going head to head.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
Cole beat Drake when we was just going head to head for albums.
Bro, but that's not even the issue
But I'm
with
saying
Cole,
I
though,
feel like out of his era, he's produced out of his era. He's
Yeah, but
produced.
you're comparing him to the others. That's why you're rating him so highly.
you're
You have to compare him to himself and the potential that you saw at the beginning. Now, based on the warm-up, Friday Night Lights, there's no way he's reached the heights he should have.
I feel like 20
as far as
I feel like 2014 did.
Should J. Cole be where Kendrick is?
I always argue that, yes.
Should he be?
Yeah.
You can't tell me
I think he was supposed to be.
He was
I'm
not
asking.
right. He was
was
never
supposed-
rapping as good as
Because
Kendrick.
after what Rich said about
No matter what-
Jay-Z
So
saying now,
So I actually think you just
He
said,
wasn't rapping as good as Kendrick at any point in his life.
this
But
is
we're
the
talking
thing
about the
though. This is the
context
thing.
around
Like,
You're talking about the context
and
around
I think we've had this conversation before amongst the brothers. Like, but J. Cole's style and J. Cole's whole sound, his whole thing is way more accessible than Kendrick Lamar's.
I agree with that.
Right? So J. Cole just off rip has more people who are more likely to like his style, to like his cadence, to like his content than Kendrick. Kendrick has a voice that people can't get behind. I know loads of people who don't like Kendrick because of his voice,
One of
how
my
he
closest,
sounds.
one of my
right?
closest boys don't like Kendrick.
You feel me?
because of
Like they
his voice.
just can't get into Kendrick because he's got like a sort of polarizing sound, voice, whatever it may be. So even off that, like J. Cole should be, and I think it shows in terms of his numbers and his ability to draw in crowds. He's more accessible, number one. Should he be where Kendrick Lamar is in terms of universally accepted as the top guy lyrically, the top guy in terms of albums, the top guy in terms of just like the hip hop landscape? J. Cole was definitely supposed to be there. He was definitely supposed to be there. Like you don't have the floor. Like,
But is that J. Cole's fault? Or is that just how great Kendrick is?
No,
think that's J. Cole's fault.
It's
I
J.
feel like
Cole's
that-
fault.
I don't think that. I think that's just we've all agreed Kendrick's top 5.
Yeah.
That's just someone's greatness, bro.
You got to put responsibility on Cole as well. I feel like
do.
you're negating.
No,
from that.
I put the responsibility on Cole, but we've all agreed here Kendrick is top 5 of all time. Kendrick is.
But he grew to become.
I
that,
don't
bro.
even think
at the
we-
beginning it wasn't like that. When Kendrick first came out with the Kendrick Lamar EP and then Section 80, to me around that time, I still considered Cole to be a better rapper than Kendrick.
What when Section 80 dropped?
I was listening
before
to more,
before
I was listening
Section
to more
80.
Cole
What
at that
about when
point.
Section 80 dropped? That's when it kind of changed.
Yeah,
up.
when that dropped,
That's when it
the
sort of
tide
switched.
changed. Yes,
I
and
feel-
that's where
I
Kendrick
would-
took it up a notch as far as lyricism.
I get what you're saying, but I get what you're saying. Put a little bit of blame on Cole, but I just feel like that's just Kendrick's greatness that Cole's not number 1.
So basically,
No, I just
Kendrick was
think-
going to be there regardless.
I feel like whoever put Kendrick in any generation.
No, I just
you can
think,
argue
like-
he's going to be number 1 if you put him in any generation. You could generally. We've all said if Kendrick drops 2 more albums, he's the greatest rapper of
But
all
you
time.
can have more than one great
So, like,
at any given time.
Do you see what I'm saying?
But the greatness has to be there, right? Like Jay was great, Nas is great, Biggie was great. They were all around at the same time. They had no real relation or any real link to each other. They didn't affect each other, but they were all great at the
So you're
same
saying
time.
the gap is kind of too
Yeah,
wide.
the gap
Too
wasn't massively wide between the three of them, depending on who you liked in terms of styles. Like you had real choice, and that's just 3. That's just 3 people at the time. But like now, I think, yeah, if you want Kendrick Lamar to be your number 1, J. Cole to be your number 2, I consider to be, because I just genuinely have this belief that there's only a finite amount of elite MCs at any given time. And I don't think everybody can apply to it, no matter how much we want to push J. Cole up or Drake up into that elite. They're just not Kendrick, you know what I mean? But like the gap between J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar is what makes people have this conversation. He was supposed to be the guy who at least gave us like a classic album because, you know, he can produce his own stuff as well as being like this super MC. And J. Cole, like, he can spit. Like, he's a spitter.
I got a question for you, though.
He's
How
a
big-
rapper's
I got a
rapper,
question,
innit?
just 2 seconds.
But I don't think J. Cole, and the reason why this is an ongoing conversation about potential is because people are desperate to have that universally accepted beginning to end album where people have been like, this guy's finally arrived. And I don't think anybody, unless they're staunchly like firm on their J. Cole love, can say he's done that yet.
I don't want to keep harping on Kendrick too much, but how big is the gap really between Kendrick and Cole?
It's firm.
Yeah,
big.
it's
Like
it's clear.
There's a gulf.
It's clear.
Like it's a
It's clear.
gulf
It's
because
clear.
again, like Section 80 came out. Kind of like, I mean, I was a big Kendrick Lamar fan, but even me, I wasn't really expecting Section 80. Really, I saw High Power as a video, and then like Section 80 came shortly after. I wasn't expecting it, and then literally that's when the snowball came, and then Good Kid, Mad City comes out, and then the rest is history. So you're already like 2 classics down. Do you know what I mean? So
Cole never had a chance.
But just subjective, like objective, because I think it's not. But do you think 2014 is a classic? Because I've seen a lot of people say
I don't think
No.
J. Cole has a classic.
You don't think it's close?
He doesn't have a classic album.
I've seen a lot of people say 20. I don't think it is. But I've seen a lot of people argue 2014.
Yeah,
People-
I think the
that's
thing
what
about
people-
hip
my
hop.
favorite Cole album, though.
But people say that about Drake. People say that his classic is Take Care. No,
I've seen
that's
that too.
not
People
how
are
it
desperate.
works. That's not how it
People are
works.
No, I agree. I
Desperate.
don't think it is because my favorite Cole album is Born Sinner, so there's no way I would think.
One of the things that annoys me about hip hop, just generally speaking, I love the debate culture. I love that we can talk about this genre. And this is why it's the best genre in the world. You don't see other genres talking about artists and participants in any genre like this. But on the flip side of that, that means that we end up riding for our favorite MCs in such a way that we're desperate to peg like a classic to them.
I feel you.
When in reality, not everybody can make a classic. That doesn't make J. Cole not an amazing artist. Like, that needs to be said. Like, J. Cole is amazing in his own very way, his very own way, right?
He's definitely tried.
And he's come.
I don't like.
I really liked KOD, and like these men know exactly how I feel about how much I appreciate J. Cole when he's not on his own beats, because he's just a different animal, and that's an artist thing as well. Like, when you are a rapper who produces your own stuff, you're in your own world, and you're only trying to impress yourself.
You can tell when he features on.
You feel me? Like, when you get sent a beat from somebody else and you know another rapper's gonna be on it, you're like, oh wow, I can't have the worst verse here. You know what I mean?
So how do you?
It's jarring though. Sorry, what was you gonna say?
How do you react then to J. Cole arguably having like one of the best runs of his life last year with all these features?
He did. That was Drake. No one was barring harder than Cole the last year, in my opinion.
But does that increase expectation, or does that make you feel, oh man, you actually could have been something?
I feel like the last 3 albums for Cole was. I mean, KOD was alright. He needs to deliver on the next one.
Who's most likely to come out with a classic out of J. Cole and Kendrick next? For me, it's J. Cole.
You reckon?
Yeah,
Cole
he's
Cole
more
has
likely to do it because he hasn't done it yet. There's more fire in him. Kendrick has a bloody fireplace full of Grammys and all of this universal recognition for what he's already done. Do you know how difficult it is to keep that level up? I know Kendrick has set a high bar, but like, who's more likely to come out with the classic?
But if you ask me who I think's going to drop a classic,
we're talking about
Kendrick.
numbers. Huh?
But if you had to put your money on who's going to drop one, you
And
say Kendrick.
I'm really not sure if Cole is capable, because he really tried with For Your Eyes Only and it just didn't.
No, but I
not
feel like
work.
all Cole has to do, in my opinion, is let someone else produce his album, and he'll give us a
I
classic.
think that's a massive ingredient in this whole thing.
I feel like if Cole gives us, like, for example,
that's all he needs to do.
That's literally
Yeah.
all. That to me, that's what's
Yeah,
missing.
he's got to feel the pressure.
Cole's too good at rapping to not deliver a classic album.
But even when he
Like,
does
he's just
that,
too good at rapping.
he gives us Middle Child.
I like that song.
I like that song.
Yeah,
Who produced
it's
it?
meh. T minus.
But then even, I know you guys haven't heard it, but the Return of the Dreamville album, I don't know how much he produced.
He didn't produce a lot.
And it was, you see what I'm saying? And I like that album. He got busy on that album.
Yeah.
Nobody's been rapping, in my opinion, you might say I'm biased. The last year, who's had a better run than Cole?
Pusha T.
The last year?
As far as features,
I think it was Cole last year, it was Push this year.
Last year, Cole's
Pusha
features,
T and Black Thought last year were killing every verse that they
I
touched.
can't name 2 songs Black Thought was in besides Jimmy Fallon.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
Back to my point. Yeah, like Cole's
Black Thought still got more classics than Cole.
But my
that.
worry is even if Cole lets other people produce for him,
Fight, bro.
even if Cole lets other people produce for him, there's still that fear, for me anyway, that whatever does come out isn't that great.
No, he
like
has
Middle
No,
Child.
this is the thing, right?
He has to hit.
Let me give you artist perspective, right? And I don't mean that in a weird way, but like, when you produce your own beats, right, you are wowed by your creation because you made it. You're proud of it because you made it, right? And that level of pride that you have is elevated because you created it from beginning to end. The problem artists have is that they think that everybody's going to share that appreciation for it that you have, right? So when you have producers who are just focused on beats, just focus on sounds and making, or who are probably a little bit more in tune with the charts because they have label pressures, they're aligned with labels and they just want to make hits, it forces you as an artist to go into a different pocket, right? When you are producing your own beats, you're more likely to be that little bit more introspective, less risk-taking. By branching out to other producers, you have a completely different soundscape. You do. You do. And honestly, you want to impress the producers because you want them to keep you on that track instead of sending it out to somebody else. It's just a different mentality. And J. Cole, as we said before, needs to get out of making the stuff himself because he's super, super proud of it. But being super, super proud of it doesn't make it hot.
But it works for like someone like Skepta, for example. He
but
produces
Skepta's
only his
But
beats.
not all that Skepta produces is fire.
Of course, but more of it is fire, I think, than what J. Cole does.
I disagree.
Debatable.
I agree with that.
I disagree.
I agree with that.
Debatable.
I disagree.
Fair enough.
I think.
I feel like
Or you could say more of what Cole produces for himself isn't as fire as what Skepta produces for himself because
Yeah, that's
the
what I mean.
beats that Cole makes for other people, yeah, they're fire. Like.
But just
So
And again, that's another thing in the psychology of what I just said. You're producing this for other people. So you want them to be super impressed.
yeah.
Right? Like, it's a psychology thing. Something that you've made yourself. You're like, you know what? I made this.
So no one can tell me shit.
No one can tell me shit.
So basically, him getting out of the cycle of only wanting to produce for himself and then going on to other producers, that took a lot. You reckon?
Yeah. I think he would have enjoyed it. Like you can tell he's spazzing out on these tracks
Bruv,
that are
the
produced by
last-
other
the
people
last year's one
in a
for
way that he never spazzes out on his own stuff.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't feel like he's missed like his career. I don't think it's been.
Nah, J. Cole's had a career that most people want.
Just
Do you know what, though?
I feel like J. Cole's had. To me, anyway, like you don't know.
He's
like,
managed
J.
to
Cole's
make
my favorite rapper.
a name
like,
for himself and
like-
sell out and go platinum with no features.
Yeah, like J. Cole's.
Even with all of our opinions about him.
And J. Cole, my
this-
favorite-
he's a very special case.
That's become like, what is that called? Is that what you call like a self-fulfilling prophecy or some shit?
Yeah,
Like,
like
now? Like, he
what is
feels so determined by it because he knows what the streets are saying. He knows what people are saying about it, and he's kind of just willing to prove us wrong time and time again.
And this mentality as well, dropping an album with no release date, all of that. Like I feel like his career maybe hasn't got to the heights we expected it to, but
He's made a good...
And maybe he's just like,
for him to be known as, whether you like it or not, when it's all said and done, even the second best of his generation, even if it's not a hard class, he will still go down as the second best in his generation of all time.
I'm very hard on Cole. I'm not gonna put it all down to. I'm not gonna put it.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't know
I'm
that
gonna
about
put it
you.
all down. I'm not gonna put it all down to him. I think the first album wasn't entirely his fault. I think because of the pressure from Jay.
yeah, it was a bad
that
time for
probably
Rock Nation,
affected
100%.
how that first album sounded. Because I think the first album was supposed to be what Friday Night Lights sounded like, but then I think he tweaked it and it became what it became.
Commercial.
And then trying to search for the single. So that I think that affected things too.
Yeah.
And then I think he got into the cycle of overthinking, which is what happened with Born Sinner. I think he tried a bit too much. I thought the album was a bit too long. It wasn't a bad album.
He signed for
I'm
Rock
not
Nation.
saying it was a bad album, but for what I expect from
I feel like
Cole,
Born Sinner was wavy, man.
I'm not saying it was a bad album, but I just feel like it should have been more.
That's my
than
favorite
that.
album for his
He signed for Rock Nation at a time where it was like you need
No
to
one
have a
was there.
single. You need to have a single. You're not dropping.
But then
which is
he
why
dropped-
to this day
he
Jay
mixed
Elect
as
never
well,
come
'cause-
out. Right, like,
Lady Sovereign was there.
But he dropped Who Dat as well. I remember when he dropped Who Dat, and I was like, "What are you playing at?" Like, I wasn't expecting. Like,
I didn't mind that song.
I
liked Who Dat.
I
But then
hated
you
it.
lot have always heard me. You lot have heard me as a Cole fan. I've always said
Yeah,
I'm
I
not.
hated Who Dat.
I was when it first dropped Silent Story. I was happy with the album.
I love
but
the
you lot
tune
always
with
heard me say.
Born Sinner had Power Trip with Miguel.
Yeah.
Still one of the baddest.
Like, to
baddest.
me,
Illuminati.
Born Sinner-
Yo, that song,
Born
that song
Sinner-
is so-
down.
Born Sinner
Bro,
to me,
Power
Let
Trip
Nas,
is so cold.
Let Nas Down, Forbidden Fruit, She Knows,
Let
Trouble,
Nas Down is still one of his best songs.
Trouble, She Knows. Like that Illuminati, that album to me is a solid album. Like I can't fault that album. The only fault I have with it is it's too long.
And he still has great tunes splattered all across his albums. Anyway.
That's my point.
Yeah, of course.
Even across like Forest Hills.
To be honest with you,
Free
Forest
Rise.
Hills, and I will say this, it's got one song I skip. Hello. That's the only song I skip in the whole album. Like you can listen to that whole album, in my opinion, back to front. And I don't skip anything. Only reason I Born Sinner is a better album to me just because I prefer it's more cohesive to me. But do I feel like Cole's done what he needs to do.
I still think he'll be known as like a big what if though.
I don't feel like he would.
Despite all the success.
I think depending on how the next album sounds, if that next album isn't like close to a classic, then I just don't think he's.
I feel like
Nah,
he's got,
I just don't think he's going to drop one.
I feel like
I just don't think he'll drop
I feel
one.
like 2014 is close to a classic. That's my opinion.
And look,
If not, it
J.
might.
Cole doesn't need to release a classic. Like he'll still be here with another 5 albums over the next 10 years, like killing it. Like
Yeah, but to like man like us, I feel like he needs to.
nah, I think if he makes another 5 albums like his last 5 albums, people will still hold him in a high position in hip hop.
Maybe I'm biased.
Unless we get another 5 great Kendrick level artists
Are we his
who push
Yeah, we
J.
are.
Cole down the
Yeah,
ladder.
yeah, we are.
Are we his target
Yeah,
audience?
we are.
Yeah, man.
At this point now, J. Cole only cares about the rapper's rapper. At this point now, the music he's making, you can tell he only cares about. He's trying to
with
go
the ear.
so hard
Yeah, he
for
wants
us to
people
like
with the
him.
ear. Yeah,
like he's trying to. KOD was just for people that's got ears.
But he's also rapping on people that you wouldn't necessarily associate with him, like Offset. Like,
True.
I think Lil
But like
Baby.
Young Moneybag or something, Moneybag or whatever.
Moneybag
his name is,
Yo.
yeah. But then if you listen to KOD and you ask Cole fans, quote unquote, what did they think about it? They don't like that album because it's not Cole from Silent Story. He's trying to go left so far that it's like he wants people with ears to be like, yo, that production was wavy.
Yeah.
Yo, look at the lyrics. Do you know what I mean? I feel like at this point now in his career, he's trying to prove to himself and everyone else, like,
Yeah.
yo, fuck what you think, like, I really do this.
The biggest problem with me and J. Cole is it's just the risk taking. And I said when you guys asked me about my top 5, like risk taking is a big thing for me. Like I feel like people give like Nas a lot of shit for doing the thing with Jay. So not with Ye, sorry. Like they shit on that album. I think that album is actually pretty solid.
What, Ye?
Like yeah. No, Nazir, sorry. The one that he did with Ye. Nazir. Was it Nazir?
Nazir.
J. Cole just needs to hook up with like his buddies, and he's got some
No idea.
Yeah, he's just got to hook up with his buddies who are top producers. That will be the final verdict for me. That will be like if he's not able to do it when he's got that caliber of production behind him, then we'll be like, all right, cool, J. Cole hasn't hit that.
You reckon? I mean, yeah, it's a tough one, man. I feel like it's taken him so long to get out of that mind frame of wanting to just do everything himself. It might have to take a little bit longer for him to really like map out an album that he wants to do and outsource the production. I still think he's still going to have his hand in that pot very heavily, which will probably affect how the album sounds and how we feel about it. So unless he's willing to like relinquish quite a lot of responsibility, I'm not sure if we'd be looking at him in a different way.
Question, lads. Lyrically, yeah.
Oh boy.
Is Cole overrated?
No.
I know you think so.
No. Cole gets busy.
Cole's
He's
exceptional.
overrated.
Cole's one of the
as a
nicest.
rapper. This is why this is a conversation.
If
bro.
it wasn't, it wouldn't be. That's exactly, you summed it up.
Yeah.
If Cole wasn't as nice as we think,
Everybody knows what he's got
talking.
in the locker, innit? We're just praying that it all clicks at once.
Like Cole is one of the nicest. Cole gets
Like
busy.
hip hop will breathe a massive sigh of relief the day J. Cole just releases that classic we know he's got inside of him. Because we can finally put him up there. People are dying to put him up. I think the one thing that's stopping him from leapfrogging Kendrick Lamar in terms of that is just that classic album.
You don't think that's all I'm waiting for?
Because people love him, man.
Yeah, we know you.
Cole's my favorite rapper.
More girls like J. Cole, more guys like J. Cole.
Like, Cole's my favorite
more
rapper
accessible.
alive, bro.
They just want that classic. You know what hip hop's like? We just want that classic.
Like if Cole
So
gives
one
me-
classic, and to a lot of people,
Bruv,
he's the greatest.
That's all I need.
Well, he's the best.
I'm
Yo,
saying
in the
like,
era.
Yo, that's what
there's
I
a
need.
strong argument for it.
That's it. That's what I need. Just give me
There's
one.
a strong argument for it.
Just give me one. Like I've seen.
And then what?
I've seen Cole live.
That won't
6
be enough,
times.
man.
I'm a Cole fan.
Kind of like Liverpool and winning the league, innit?
That's not gonna happen.
If we
That's
just
not-
get, if we
that's
just
not
get
gonna
one,
happen. That's
if
not
we
gonna
just get
happen.
one.
That's
That's not gonna
different.
happen. That's not gonna
Just
happen.
give me
Is J.
one.
Cole the Liverpool of the rap game?
He might be.
No, he might be.
Couple Champions
he might
Leagues
be.
from time to
No,
time, and then
Forrest-
like
He
Friday
ain't got
Night-
no Champions League.
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights is the Champions League for sure.
And then 24 is a Champions League. Not
that's-
saying it's
that's
that good.
one
but like,
Champions League
No.
trophy.
That
24
might be a Carabao.
24. No. Respect it, bro. Come on, man. I said the alcohol cup. Like, anyway, my opinion, has Cole hit? Yeah. Has he hit what I wanted? Maybe not. Is he still one of the nicest alive? Yes. Is he gonna go down as one of the goats of the generation? Yeah.
But just so I'm clear, he needs one classic album for him to be the best of his era.
Nah.
It just
I feel like that's never gonna happen.
It just closes that chapter.
What Kendrick is doing is
It's not gonna happen.
No one's ever
He
gonna
needs.
catch
He
him.
needs. He needs a couple.
We're not saying
he's not gonna do that though. Because
it's about elite, right? Like the elites have classics. The elites have classics.
So J. Cole's not an elite.
Absolutely not.
Damn.
I feel like he is.
I agree, man.
I feel like
But
he is.
you man say I'm a
You're a
hater.
hater.
so-
No.
But
I'm not a
but
hater,
that's on the backdrop.
Rich's
that's on the-
opinion I'll take.
Why am
That's
I
on
a
the
hater?
backdrop of what?
Is it?
Yeah,
Why am I
Pete,
hating?
and
I
we
feel
had this
like-
conversation as well. This is on the backdrop of my opinion that we can't have
Too many
the
elites.
best MCs of every generation just automatically put in that spot. When I think about elite, I'm thinking about Rushmore, innit?
Then Cole's not there. If it's
Well, even in his era.
no, if it's in his era, he has to be on the Mount
yeah,
Rushmore.
but like,
But that's not his fault. You
if the
can't-
era's shit,
by
But that's what
default,
you
right?
can't blame him
he's
for
an
that.
elite,
no,
but he's an
but
blame
if
him
the
for
era's
that.
shit, we automatically push up MCs who aren't elite to an elite
But you
status.
can't blame him for
So
that.
he's elite by
If you
default.
win the league and
I'm not blaming him
if
for
you,
that.
You lot were winning the leagues when everyone else was shit.
You watch your mouth.
All I said is when Liverpool were winning the leagues like 10 years in a row, everyone was dead.
That's a liberty.
But that team has gone down
not
as one of
true.
the best ever. All right, cool. When Arsenal won the league at your stadium, I have nothing. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Before you were born.
He just wanted to say that.
But anyway, back to my
Michael
point.
Thomas!
Nah, he's
Shit.
in my opinion anyway. He's elite. He has to be. Is he elite of all time? No. Is he elite of his generation? Yes. I feel like there's a
But he's only
difference.
elite by default because he doesn't have a classic album and the generation he's in, whatever it is.
That's not his fault. He can only go up against
not
who
his
he's
fault.
up against. Floyd Mayweather could only go up against who he was up against. You, see
You
what I'm saying?
can't blame. You can't talk about Mayweather though, because he actually had like crazy
Mayweather
competition.
but no, not really. Like, when he
De La
faked
Hoya
out.
was a brawler. Bro.
I
What
just-
are you
De La
talking
Hoya
about?
was old when he
I
fought
just
him.
don't want to, when I talk about elites, I don't want to dilute it by saying elites of this generation.
I feel.
I'm talking hip hop elites.
Maybe I'm trying to.
But that's what these
In-
Cole
in that
fans
case, he
do,
never
bro.
will be.
They're trying to find these little loopholes where
In
they
that
can
case, he
slide
never
him
will
in.
be. I don't think he ever will be.
Just direct it to me.
I don't think he ever will be.
I don't like these indirect.
If J. Cole releases another, let's say for example, the next 3 albums that J. Cole drops are classics.
He's elite.
Then he's elite.
Yeah.
How
The
many
next
classics-
3 in a row. If he drops 3 in a row,
But
classic.
if he
you
does
need?
another
Then we're
5,
having a
if-
different
if he-
conversation.
That's a goal
If he,
status.
if he does another 5 albums and 3 of them are classics, like it's
That's-
a conversation.
that's-
It's a conversation.
that's-
He's in there. Like
I don't think it's
we've
gonna
had this
happen.
conversation
What if
about
only-
which artists have had the most classics. Like it, probably max classics of any of the elite artists is probably like 4 or 5.
Kanye and Jay-Z.
Right? Exactly. You know what I mean? So
Hey.
he just needs a couple.
I feel like, just to sum it up, do you think Cole's career has been a letdown so far?
No, not at all.
P? P?
I've been disappointed, man.
Yemi?
I think it promised a lot, and he's probably delivered maybe 75%.
All right, cool.
But
One thing I was mad about.
we're all still rooting for him to get.
That's the thing, man. Like everybody
Because
just...
we know how if he wasn't nice, this conversation would be happening.
That's it. Through it all, I'm still rooting for Cole.
No, you're not.
I am, man.
No, you're not.
Bro,
No, you're not.
Friday Night Lights, like
You're
that was an
happy.
important part of like a certain part of my life.
You're
as well.
happy. You're happy with Cole flopping. Don't even try.
No, I think the moral of the story
You're
is
happy,
that
fam.
Pete hates because he cares.
But just cast your
No,
mind.
he's a hater. He's a hater.
I don't feel like I'm a hater. I feel like I say a lot of things that people are scared to say.
Don't give him an exit.
The unpopular opinion is that, you know, Cole is a little bit overrated.
He's not overrated. Stop it.
He hasn't fulfilled that promise. I think people feel this, but people don't say it.
That doesn't
your
mean you're
source?
overrated though.
Huh?
That
Where's your
doesn't mean
source?
you're overrated.
What? With regards to what?
With regards to what you just said about Cole.
People that I talk to. People that I talk to, man.
talk to
I'm
me
not
though.
the only one that feels
You
this
talk
way.
to me though.
I think he's worthy of his high ratings.
Yeah, I feel I
Number
agree.
one. He's not overrated. But has he reached the level that we think he can reach? Absolutely not.
So then that could make him overrated.
No.
Because you're being rated highly to the point where you haven't even fulfilled what you're being rated for.
That's not his fault though.
Whose fault was it? Who else is making the music?
Well, when the public places an expectation on you,
That's
whether that's concurrent to the music you're making, like it depends, doesn't it? Like not everyone who has high expectations, A, deserves it, or B, might not necessarily merit it.
And your expectations to Cole might be different to mine.
I don't feel like my expectations are wild though.
I feel like
I don't feel like they're wild at all. For his talent levels, just give me better albums. I'm not asking for too much.
But
You've shown you can do it. You gave us the warm up. You gave us Friday Night. You can do it.
Steven
I don't know
Gerrard
if
didn't deliver the Premier League title. Does that mean he's overrated?
That's completely different.
It's similar. It's the same
I
shit.
don't think it is. Because
Why?
Gerrard had other players around him. He couldn't alone win the league himself. Cole is the sole control of his career and his album making.
Well, I mean,
He hasn't always been,
He's still
clearly.
signed to a label and
Yeah,
all that
but
shit. Like,
I mean, at
And
this
clearly-
point, Cole's
And
probably
we've already
got
established
enough.
that he hasn't always been in control.
Yeah, but at this point, he's got enough creative control.
I
where
think you lot are really P in particular is really you're really shitting on some of the albums that are good. I genuinely feel like 2014 was a solid album.
I'm not shit.
I
said
like
it's a
the
good
album.
I feel like it's a solid album.
I like it, but that's it. It's solid.
That's it.
That's not bad though.
No, that's not
Jay,
bad.
You're making
It's
it
not
like
bad.
it's whack.
Realistically,
For
he-
J. Cole, I need more than solid
realistically,
albums,
he
bruv.
only has one bad album, and that's
In my
Sideline
opinion,
Story.
he's only got
And that's
one bad
Sideline
album.
Story.
By the
Everything else
way, is this all moot because he's actually given us a classic in some capacity?
Which one?
no,
Friday Night
Friday
Lights.
Night's definitely.
it's
a
not
classic.
moot at all.
Nah, don't count.
So it only counts if it's an album.
I think so.
Interesting.
Because
Yeah,
I'd say the same
I'd
thing about
say so.
Drake. I'd say the same thing about Drake. I think it only counts if you have a classic album.
Interesting.
Who's looking back at your classic mixtape?
So you don't think
like that?
Take Care's not classic.
Nah.
Pardon?
We should
Take
should
Care.
probably.
Take Care's not classic.
No.
Just
no.
saying.
I think it's a very good
We
album.
need to dead this narrative that Take Care is his classic and Take Care is anywhere near even a decent album. We need to fuck.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good album.
You
You say
would.
it's not
You
even-
would.
I
You
mean,
would enjoy
if
that
anyone
shit.
here likes it, it's P. But I think it was a very good.
Rick Ross did the
Rich-
thing and then jumped off.
Is Rich
But
Forever?
that was the
Is
highest.
Rich Forever a classic
Yes,
mixtape?
it is.
Nah.
No, yes, it is.
Nah.
Rich Forever the mix. Stop it, fam. Rich Forever the mixtape's a classic.
I'm just saying.
That's not even like in
gauging.
these top 4-3 projects.
Of
What are you talking about?
mixtapes.
No, projects
We're
that
talking about
Ross
mixtapes.
has ever
We're
released.
talking about what mixtapes are classic.
I'm just trying to find an example of a rapper who doesn't have a classic album but has a classic mixtape. That we
Joe
don't
Budden.
at that level.
Chance the Rapper.
Joe Budden.
Chance the Rapper.
Joe Budden's got classic mixtapes. Joe Budden's got a few classic mixtapes. You can argue.
Yeah, Acid Rap, man. Chance the Rapper. He's never come close.
Shout out on that terrible album, The Big Day.
Speaking of Chance the Rapper,
Speaking of Chance the Rapper, time to get on to the next topic. And this is another topic that we've been kind of dilly-dallying about and talking about, but we haven't really got into the details. I was going to say meat again, but I know how you might feel.
we've dipped our toe in the water.
We've dipped our toe in the water, and now it's time to get into it. So I guess what we want to talk about now is defining what an industry plant is
Chance the Rapper.
and whether they really exist.
Yes, they do.
So I guess, I mean, you know, hood tales and general conversation around music fans these days is the idea of an industry plant. Someone that has been catapulted in, well, I mean, I suppose we all have different definitions of it, but to me, what an industry plant is someone who has been catapulted into a position that they might not necessarily warrant, and they're just treated like a darling of the industry when their music doesn't necessarily stand up.
But how do you identify
Let me
that?
extend that definition with the feigned narrative that this is an organic, independent
Facts.
route.
But how do you identify that?
I feel like you could tell.
Everybody has a trail and everybody has a history. If we don't see your history, chances are you've been planted.
Speaking of Chance, I feel like Chance the Rapper's one.
That was a good one.
You said it.
That was
No, I think he's the biggest one.
Why do you think
Chance the Rapper
I've never listened to a Chance the Rapper project, but Chance the Rapper damn near the biggest
is
rapper.
fire.
Yeah, but that's you though.
But he came out of nowhere.
He's
With
fire,
his number 3
but
hat.
I think Chance the Rapper, the biggest sign that he was a plant was the fact that he won a Grammy for a mixtape.
And wasn't he on Apple Music when he was meant to be independent and some bullshit like that?
So look, I mean, yeah,
Basically.
the Apple Music thing was interesting because he basically just got paid to give Apple the exclusive. I think he got mad criticism for it. So he clarified it on Twitter. He said he got like 500K to give them the exclusive for a couple of weeks.
This was for coloring book.
But like I think we need to go back, right? Like he did 10-day mixtape, which was poorly mixed, wasn't the greatest. Had some really good songs on it, but wasn't the best. And then he goes from being unknown to on his next mixtape, which is a fucking classic, yeah, Acid Rap. And if you look at that album, the mixtape, I consider it an album, it's a mixtape. Look at the collaborations, man. From an unknown artist out of nowhere. Action Bronson, Twister, who else did he have on there?
Absol.
Is he second mixtape?
This was his first proper official mixtape,
So,
but like it was his
got-
second mixtape. But like Acid Rap was like super polished, super refined.
And he's got all these
Like,
features.
Yeah, he's got the cosign from Kanye in a sense as well, because he's got like songs that are named after Kanye West, like Good Ass Intro and stuff like that. Like, and then you're already starting to hear about like his relationship with certain artists in the background. And then all of a sudden, like, he's doing a new album, which was going to be called C3, change the name to Coloring Book, and he's basically propelled to a level that no one's ever known, and he's already, like, getting nominated for Grammys off a mixtape, this Coloring Book thing, and then the collaborations that he's got with that are, like, gone up from being the Vic Menzers and the Action Bronsons to the Lil Waynes and the 2 Chainz and the Futures and all this other stuff, and it's just, like, all under the guise that he was independent. Now, the independent route will have you paying a hell of a lot of money to get Future on a collab and to get all these men on a collab. So the question is, how did that happen?
It's the fact that, especially, not to hop on the Grammy stuff too much, but it's the fact that he, seemingly as an independent artist, going against a machine, the Grammys, and making them change the format of how they give out awards. That is, for me, powerful. For someone who has only had 2 mixtapes, and is nominated for another one, right? That doesn't happen. So something is
Yeah, but could
there.
it be that the music was so good that it was forced to happen?
No,
I think you lot can speak for that. I've never listened to a Chance the Rapper project.
no, the music wasn't that good.
I'm playing devil's advocate because
I've never listened to a Chance the Rapper project.
Like these labels, they identify talent and they identify the people that they're going to be able to make the most amount of seismic change in the industry. Like we got Lil
How do
Nas-
you gauge that though?
I don't know, like it could be personality, it could be the catalog that they know you possess. It could be one song. Like Lil Nas X had one song. He's the clearest industry plant we've had in recent years, and he said it. You know what I mean? He jokes around with it. He knows. Nobody knew who the hell he was, and now he's got what was the Spotify statistic? Or
He's got
the longest
number one
song of all time
on the
I think it's
Billboard.
surpassed
on the
Mariah,
Billboard.
Boyz II Men or something like that.
Right? And I know that's all streams, but they see something in these people, and ultimately, if they have confidence in you, they're just going to back you with money. And if they think that their marketing plan is genius, like it was in the case of Lil Nas X, like
Has that been happening for a while though? Or has it
there's
only-
different levels to it.
I feel like the social media.
There's different levels to it.
But even before
Right.
that, like,
No, I feel like
There's
social
been
media put more-
manufacturing of artists since the beginning of time,
No, but
right?
I feel like
Like,
social media just put more eyes on it.
yeah,
I
maybe.
feel like the conversation just opened up because of social media, really.
Yeah, look, man. The biggest issue I got with the whole industry plant thing is when people say that they're super independent. Like for me, when you're an independent artist, I have sold CDs face to face, hand to hand after gigs, like gigs I performed at, gigs I weren't performing at. Like I've lost money by giving people my stuff for free. Like the piss takes you have to take from people in the industry, producers who only want to work with the big people. You'll do a track and then you put all your money in, you pay for studio time, and then they'll be like, oh, you know, that beat's gone to someone else. Like there's an independent struggle in it. There is a real struggle to being an independent artist. So when people come through and they've got the backing and they're like, yo, I'm independent. That's the problem I got with the whole industry plant thing. Because there's been a manufactured people since the beginning of time. I said before this, Tiny Temper to a degree.
Yeah, no, I got to disagree
Planted
with you, bro.
a little bit.
Why?
Just based on what you man
A
have
little
said
bit.
about what a plant is, that doesn't make sense to me.
But why
little
is he a
bit.
plant? But why is he a
A
plant?
little bit. I think as well, like, and you also have to think about the now. Like, I think Tiny Temper, basically, they saw a talented, so to speak, rapper. He wasn't anywhere near. If we're talking about grime, like that first resurgence of grime where people were getting number ones, Tinchy's, Chip, and all them, man, like, they had a specific requirement of what they wanted from the artists who were going to blow up. Tiny Temper fit that mold. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was good looking, he had a poppy sound, he was clean, he wasn't going to get into any trouble, you know what I mean? Like, they linked him up immediately with the most talented producer we probably have. Shout out Labyrinth, yeah, because I think he's the most slept on artist we have. And release Pass Out, release Frisky, and a couple of the other tunes. As soon as that relationship was over, Tiny Temper was over.
Yeah, but he's not over.
Tiny Temper's kind of done it.
And
Where is Tiny? What do you mean he's not over?
bruv, he's still about.
What's he doing?
About where, bruv? You
Make-
see him. You
make
see him in
music.
front
He's
rows.
dropping
You see him
projects.
in front
Making
rows
music
at London Fashion Man's Week or whatever it is, like shaking hands. But like that doesn't mean anything to me. I
All
want
right,
music.
fine. He may not be active at the moment, but everything
though.
you've just said.
Is he active?
He dropped a project like last year, I believe.
But
He's
even
still
with
active.
everything you just said, I don't think it's completely fair to ignore what he was doing before. Like, let's not act as though Wifey Rhythm didn't happen and wasn't.
So you think
there was a
he-
massive
you-
gap between all that stuff?
So
by
you
the
think
way,
he's
though.
not-
Yeah,
You
no,
think they
it was
just
a few
caught on?
years, of course.
There's a
but
massive
still,
gap. I think it was more than a few years as well.
But I feel like even with Wifey Rhythm, that was a solid foundation for what was to come next. I think with dropping that song, he showed he could have the commercial appeal. He could appeal to wider audiences.
Look,
It just so happened that he happened to get with a
Tiny
great,
Temper, as I said,
accessible producer.
So you feel they just
I
caught
feel-
on late?
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
so I
not
don't think
putting.
it's fair to
I think
pull
I
the
said. I think I said like there are levels to it, and I think like at any given time the industry decides that there's someone who's going to be the one. Do you know what I mean? And at that time, Tiny Temper was going to be the one, irrespective. All of the doors opened. He did all of the stuff before, winning all the Mobos and all the Brits and all this other stuff that Stormzy and them man are doing today. There's always certain levels to it. He went off and did his whole website. I can't remember what his website was called, Coffee and Tea or whatever thing that he did. He built like an organic base to an extent, yeah. But I feel like he definitely had like doors open for him in a way that for me isn't really the independent struggle that it's been painted.
But was he ever like really independent, or was he always like on a label? From like,
No, when he was making the first stuff, like Hood Economic stuff and all that stuff, I believe he was all independent.
No, I think he was signed. He was, I think, aligned with, I think, I can't remember the name of that management company, but I feel like Bruiser around the time was aligned with them as well.
I said Bruiser.
And I just their name is escaping me, so I don't know if he was 100% independent, and I don't even know if he claimed to be.
No, I mean, I don't think that was his marketing pull, but you know, that's always a story that's sold to us.
Oh, he started from Pirate Garage Radio and he got plucked from obscurity and...
yeah, and like you say, Rich, it's like there are levels to it in the sense of
Look at me like that for.
there are,
Because you know the narrative, innit? Like,
Yeah, it was them, they were in the top of some
Hey,
building
shout out the white man.
estates and they were wiring pirate FM waves.
What's up with the voice?
shout out the
Sounds
white
like
man.
Logan
I
Sama.
don't know, man. Just sounds like somebody who'd like talk about it in the news.
Truly.
But I do agree with you in the sense that
shots
there
there.
are levels to it, because that's one level, and someone like a Chance is another level. Someone who seems to be independent and says he's independent when really he's being backed by a big machine.
Oh, like Stormzy.
Controversial, but
I don't feel like Stormzy's a plant. Which get involved. I just don't feel like Stormzy's a plant.
straight off rip.
I don't feel like, nah, you can't. I don't, personally, do I feel like Stormzy got back in? Yes.
Always had it.
Then he's not independent.
Always had it.
I think any
I
form
don't
of
think he claims
backing.
like he's independent though.
He always had
He
it.
says Mercury Records, but I'm pretty sure he's got a major behind him as well.
Yeah, Atlantic.
That's my point. So therefore, how's he claiming he's independent?
He always
No,
had
no,
it.
no. But he was always claiming to be independent before that.
When did he get signed to Atlantic?
Last year.
Officially.
Before the album.
Officially last year.
Like,
Before that
Atlantic
album-
have history of like aligning themselves with artists, taking a sort of half investment risk on people, seeing if they blow and then signing them up to something a little bit more long term.
But is that a plant?
Yeah.
What, getting signed them just investing in you, see how far you
Yeah,
go.
because like the whole
that's
independent
only-
thing is a marketing pull, right? Like people are more subscribed to your story and like more gravitated towards you if the story is like, oh, you're doing this off your own back.
That's a culture now in music. Like,
People want
a
to see
lot-
the struggle, but if there's no struggle really because you're lying to the people, then yeah, you're planted.
A lot of
So
artists
if
now.
you say you,
I feel like Stormzy was organic. Sorry, I just feel like Stormzy was organic with it.
so say I want to start a rap career tomorrow, right? I display a certain level of talent. I happen to come across
More R&B.
I happen to come across a company that want to invest in me. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna give you this amount of money to make your music, into production, into your image. We're gonna do this. I then make a song. It catches. People start feeling it,
And then
and
design
it
it.
blows. Am I a plant?
Yeah, because you haven't. Did you tell everyone your
I haven't told.
And it's
no,
not just
say
about,
I haven't told
but I don't
anyone.
necessarily- but I
you
don't
know, it's not just about the funding as well, right? You know, it's about the opportunities as well, right? So being aligned with a label, they have distribution channels, they have contacts, they have all of these opportunities which are
Radio.
basically waiting for a Stormzy shaped or a Little Nas shaped artist.
So if you think about
They
all
are
the radio
they've
songs,
they've
the
planned
awards.
your trajectory. When you are an unknown act and you are basically signing 5 to 6 figure deals with brands all around the world, nobody knows who the F you are. You don't really have a fan base and all this other stuff. How do you think that's happening? You haven't forged these relationships yourself. You've been put in these positions and told to go and flourish.
Yeah, having the backing
Because they
of
have
some-
faith that you will flourish. The part of this that we're missing and the part we're not going to sleep on is these man's abilities, these people's abilities, these artists' abilities to just make good music, right? Like
Yeah, I don't necessarily.
you
think-
can't fake that unless you got mad songwriters and all this other stuff. But so there is a certain amount of credit that comes with the artist, you know what I mean? Like doing it. But being an industry plant is basically being put in a position where it's harder to fail.
Then it's just, yeah.
Yeah, and to have funding, just simple funding, doesn't necessarily make
Yeah, funding is
a
nothing.
plant. But
Funding
it's
is
the
nothing.
You're just saying
people
the back end of stuff.
Yeah.
on the
Funding's
back end,
nothing.
the people that are putting you in those positions to succeed and not fail, basically.
How many people had like a viral video? Krypton Conan had a viral video with the Otis thing,
got taken
which
down,
is
though.
basically the exact same thing as what Stormzy did in the park was shut up. One gets locked off YouTube, one gets nominated for
But
a
there's a
MOBO.
difference though. Otis wasn't their song.
Stormzy's took an instrumental from someone.
I hear you.
You feel me? So
I feel like
same
Otis-
and I know,
I
and I
feel
know
like
he,
Otis
and I know
is
he ended up doing it the
Otis
right
was
way.
the same thing.
And I know he ended up doing it the right way
because
because he hooked up with the producer, and I think they got some sort of
they
thing.
did, but then Otis was the
It's the
biggest
same
song in
thing,
the
though.
world as well, though.
It's the
So
same
it's
thing.
not.
I feel you, but-
Bruv, Otis was the biggest song in the world. You can't just take Jay-Z and Kanye's beat and just think it's gonna be all kosher.
Why not?
Fine.
Because it's Jay-Z and Kanye.
I get that.
It
I
don't
get
matter.
that.
But that's just
don't
how
matter.
that's how it works legally.
It's the same thing in principle, isn't it?
That's just legally how it works.
Yeah, but
though.
it was a
they have
freestyle, though.
But they have a right to take it out. You can't put that on Stormzy and be like, that's.
But in principle, it's the same thing. You're taking someone else's beat.
I
and
agree.
making
In
it your
principle,
own.
it is. However, one got taken down because the other party decided to be petty, and one was like, "Fuck it, let's just link up."
I just think he was
see
put
what I'm
into
saying?
some really, really good. I remember what was it? Was it Rebel?
What culture guy?
Culture Clash, there was the Mobos and this other stuff that basically happened all before he would release anything, even before he had anything more than a couple songs out. And again, like this shit isn't coincidental. It's not coincidental at all.
Do I feel like he's had back in here? Do I feel like he's a plant? Maybe it's because
It sounds bad,
get
innit? It
chosen. I
sounds
just wanna know how
bad.
you
The
get
whole
chosen.
idea of being like a plant,
Yeah,
it
it's
sounds
just-
like
it's
you're
a
some
it's
sort of
it's
like,
negative, yeah.
like you're
It's a
some sort of
negative
like
connotation.
informant. You know what I mean? Like it does sound like you're on the inside trying to like take down the mob, but I get it. Like, but ultimately,
So yeah, but do you feel like he's a
I
plant?
think most artists want to be a plant.
Yeah, but what do you think? Do you
I think he is a plant. I agree. He's been put in positions where he cannot fail. I think he has been doing things under the guise of being independent where really he's had help. I remember watching the Brits maybe a couple years ago and I saw an advert for Gang Signs and Prayer and it was just like murky. I don't know many independent labels that are really funding that sort of thing, like, unless they're like really, really big. So there had to have been some kind of help there from a bigger label.
And you're saying like the Atlantic thing only really got announced after Gang Signs and Prayer.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, come on.
But how long has he been
He
signed?
was
to that?
getting prime time adverts like for Gang
Well,
Signs and Prayer.
Are you
like-
sure? How do you know he never got announced before he signed with Merky? Just out of curiosity.
No, because it was announced after. the
100%.
album. It was announced after the album.
Then he headlined.
Then it's
he
different.
headlined
That's
Wireless when he only had like "Shut Up" and "Where Do You Know Me From" or some shit. Like if I remember the timeline.
No, he had Gad Signs at that point.
I think he did.
Because when I saw him at V Festival, he was headlining, but then he had Gang Signs and Prayer at that point.
Me and Pete
No,
saw-
Jay-Z was headlining.
I
He
think
was just
years
below that.
before that, Stormzy was already on.
But that doesn't matter. When you're on Wireless, there's a difference between headline. If he was on Wireless, I get it. He could go on Wireless with just Shut Up. That little fat kid
Really?
with one song. What's his name? Dino.
He more or less did that outlook a couple years ago when
Yeah,
me
but
and Pete
Fredo, but there's artists that have only got 1 or 2 songs that are on wireless. I don't feel that's expectation.
Yeah, wireless is whatever.
Yeah,
but
I don't feel that's expectation to Stormzy. Do I feel like, from what you guys are telling me, it does sound like he's a plant, don't get me wrong.
It sounds shaky, man.
But
It does.
it's just...
He was on X Factor.
But it just
I think
sounds
he was on
negative.
X Factor
yeah, that's the
before Gang
problem. I
Signs.
feel like to me,
be
Stormzy's
it.
music has held its...
He was on
He's-
Love Island before Gang Signs.
That's because Stormzy at that point was a celebrity tweeting.
around the same time.
That doesn't matter though. He's a celebrity tweeting about Love Island.
Bruv, loads of celebrities are gonna tweet.
Not on that
about it.
level of Stormzy.
But before his album,
But why has he got to that level? That's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like tweeting and then just
Bro,
end
I
up on
genuinely, maybe I'm bugging. I felt like just white people resonated with Stormzy. Maybe I'm ignorant because both of you lot will know more than me. You're an artist and you work in the music industry, so you guys will know more than me. I just feel
He's got a
outside
fan base.
looking in,
But it's
it
about.
just
But it's
the
about
white
how,
ways resonating.
He's got a fan base,
but
but,
I mean,
it's the other way around.
how did he
like,
get
he's
there?
put in these
What'd you say?
situations where
How did he get there? How did he get there? How did he get to the point where white people resonated with him? How did he get to the point where he was headlining Glastonbury?
because his music still held the weight.
Well, that's subjective.
I feel like Gangsters.
No, I get what Yemi's getting.
I feel like Gangsters of Praise.
understand the
I feel like
question
Gangsters of
you're
Praise
asking.
was a great album. That's just me personally. I feel like it's held its weight. I feel like Gangsters of Praise was good. I feel like he's gonna follow it with another one.
At the point in which
But,
he was,
yeah, when you
at the
look
point
at
in
it-
which he was like making,
Yeah, I feel
headlining those festivals, did he have enough
Glastonbury had it
to
that
be
far.
able to get
Glastonbury-
those
also the-
points?
it's-
I
what
get
I'm
why
saying.
Stormzy had
And it's
that.
also the way we rallied for Gangs of Hands and Prayer to be number one. I've never seen that for an artist. The way where everyone was just saying like, "Yo, let's get Stormzy to number one."
But it's a
Let's get
different
Stormzy to
time now.
number
though.
one.
I feel like that's what
yeah, 100%.
I feel like we do that now. We done that for Mo Stack, even though it ended up number 3. Mo Stack had a number 3 album in the world. It's just a different time now. Dave had a number 1 album, I think.
Yeah,
It's
we
just a
live in
different
different
time now.
We live in a different time.
With number 1 albums. It's gonna happen more often than now. Just someone needed to break it. Do you know what I mean?
Probably.
I feel like now we're gonna have like Mo Stack went number 3. I bet you when Fredo drops an album, it's gonna be top 5. It's just a different time.
Is it possible for an artist to look like a plant but not actually be a plant though? So is it possible that it's literally just right place, right time, right opportunities, right relationships, and they're actually just not a plant? They're just lucky.
I think you
Because maybe there are more instances of that than we think about, but we're quick to draw for they're a plant thing.
It depends on what they
I
say.
think there has to be a level of complicity.
I think there are very, very few instances
I think it depends
in
on
the
what they say
music
as well.
game where it's just like good
Coincidence.
timing, coincidence. Like record labels, the whole business of record labels is they're thinking months and months and months ahead. Like now it's more difficult because everything's streaming, everything's viral, but like strategy is a big part of how you roll out someone. You know what I mean? Like,
I got a question for you, lot. Not a rapper. Is Georgia Smith a plant?
yep.
yes,
Because I feel like she's the biggest one I've ever seen.
she
Like,
definitely is.
I can't name. She's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I can't name a single song of hers.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she's number 1, like the goat of plants.
Some people are so like,
obvious with it.
I don't know what it is with Georgia Smith, man. I've never really been too overly enamored, do you know what I mean, by her music. Like, clearly she's like a beautiful specimen, do you know what I mean? But I can't really see a great deal of musical greatness there.
I feel like there's a lot of people better. Than her.
There's a lot of people better than her, but that's another debate about
Ray
why
Black-
certain girls get
Ray Black shits
more
on
love.
her.
Yeah, more
Like,
love.
Ray
more
Black
love.
shits on her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's another debate. We know what that is, but like, yeah.
So yeah, obviously I know someone that knows Georgia, and we had a conversation about Georgia being a plant, and she swore that she wasn't a plant, that she's worked way too hard to get to where she's at. So there's no way that she could be a plant.
Would she say
I
anything
mean,
else?
Stormzy has too.
But would she say anything? It's like right now, if you guys are my boys, and then someone says, "Yo, these lot got to where they," I'm not gonna let no one shit on you.
And that's why I rate Little Nas X, man. Like, because he was just like, yeah, I'm a plant, so what?
I think he's trolling though.
He's a troll though. He's
yeah,
that
but it's
generation.
laced with truth though.
No, but he's that
the-
generation of like.
No, but I think he's telling the truth and he doesn't care. Because
He's definitely
again,
a
I
plant.
said before, if it wasn't such a muddy word, do you know what I mean? If it didn't have so many like negative connotations, like I think most people would be comfortable with it. I think most people want to have those opportunities because that whole slog at the beginning to get to those opportunities is the worst part, man. Like artists just want to make art.
Yeah.
No, I
Lil Nas X is basically just like a viral star. Like I don't know if you might know the story, but basically he had that song. It wasn't doing too good, and then it picked up heat on TikTok, which is the video app. You know those apps where you have like the cut videos and it's over music and stuff like
Chinese
that.
people use that beer.
Sure, and it basically got viral off that, and TikTok were able to make moves to make sure it was more visible on their app, and Columbia basically picked up on that, signed him,
And then pushed it.
re-released the thing, and
Got Billy Ray Cyrus on it.
got Billy Ray Cyrus on it, Diplo on it. In a way, yeah, he is as well. but there are different ways. There are definitely different ways to which people do it.
I get what you lot are saying because to see Stormzy, to me, Stormzy's the biggest artist we've ever had.
Right, it's what you do with it, man.
It's a bit much because do you know what I mean? When you think about it, he's the biggest artist I think UK's ever produced, in my opinion, rapper. I feel like no one's ever to headline Glastonbury. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him to get there in 5 years?
But is it also possible to be?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you look at it like that, for you to headline Glastonbury,
it's not even been 5. Has it been 5? Really though, I think it's been 3.5.
And for him to headline, like
Stormzy,
his first EP was like.
No, it's been about 5
years ago.
Yo, it's been about 5. It's been about 5.
But from Shut Up to now.
Oh, from Shut Up to now.
It's still been about 5.
About 4.
About 4. But if you think about it, he's headlined Wireless, V Festival, Glastonbury, a #1 album. Like, all of this in 4 years.
All the chips are falling for him. And he is using his...
And he's been on...
He's using his influence for good. Great. But that doesn't negate from the fact that he's been put in that position, I feel like.
I feel like him as a person, respectable, he gives salutes where he can. You know what I mean? He gives back where he can.
Yeah, look.
As a man, he's faultless.
I mean, plants aren't horrible people.
Yeah, I'm not about to come in here and tell you.
No, but like, it's got such a bad, like, it's just the word, because I need people to understand. Stormzy comes across as a nice guy. He gives back to people. He shouts out who needs to shout out. His music holds the weight. It's just that word is such a, like you say, got a negative connotation.
Is it possible for like...
I just want them to do away with the whole independent story stuff. I do not care if you've been put in that position because the labels have seen something in you and you have nailed it. Like, the part of the story we need to focus on as well is what I said, right? You're given this position of power and responsibility. It's what you do with it really that counts. And Georgia Smith, killing it. Stormzy, killing it.
Is Georgia Smith killing it?
Lil Nas X. I mean, she's still making money. She's still out here headlining shows and stuff.
Grammy nominee.
You feel me? Like, she got a Grammy nomination.
That's
debatable, you know what I mean? But
that's the devil right there. Fam.
But it is what it is, you know what I mean? She's still active and she's still, I guess, earning some P off of this thing, so...
P, you want to give your opinion?
I'm not touching the Georgia Smith topic, man.
Cool. Fine.
All in all, shout out.
What I want to ask, though, sorry, just before we change topics, is it possible to be selected as a plant and it not pop off?
Yep.
Example?
Rory.
Lady Sovereign.
Facts.
I think they tried to make her the next one.
But Lady Sovereign was doing bits, man, in her own right. It was trash music, innit? But like, she was doing bits from early, like she was. You know what I mean? She just got signed when they thought she was the cool one in the UK wave. You know what I mean? Like, no one knew why, but N-Dubs also got propelled. They were the least reflective of what was going on in the UK at the time, and they fucked it up for everyone first time around. And it took so long for it to swing around. If we were able to build on it then, we would have been in this position where we are now 5 years, 6 years ago.
Why do you think they fucked it up?
Because they came over and they tried to exploit. The labels basically tried to exploit, and I said it was just wrong artist selection. You associated rap with N-Dubs and Lady Sovereign at one point, bruv.
It was never
and then they had the man like Storm, Chipmunk and Tinchin and man making songs like #1.
Even Skepta softened up as well.
That was
Look what they did to
Rich.
The less said about that, the better.
Even Rich.
You said the other day you didn't like that song Tractor. That was crazy to me, by the way.
He's a fool.
I hate
I don't
Tractor.
understand.
Shit, that song is fucking cold.
I hate Tractor.
Cold, bro.
But I'm a... Bro,
I didn't like the other one.
Rich is
for
my
example.
I hate that song too, though. But
Most lead singles make me cringe,
But like,
innit? Like,
I hate them two songs. But Rich is my...
that one's fire.
These are
Yeah,
not how I feel about Rich. So as a purist, I will never like that song. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like...
you know what purpose it serves, innit?
I don't like Cole Can't Get Enough too much. If I
I
hear
love
it...
that tune.
You hear me
That's
go...
a
That
tune.
tune's fire
That's
as
a good
well,
tune.
though.
But then it's like...
I need that.
Alright, cool. So, back to Stormzy.
No, back to Rory, because Rory was a great example. Rory was definitely someone who seemingly had the world at his feet. He was kind of like Chance, even though Chance was Chance. Like, he kind of made
They were trying to push him as the next Andre.
Yep.
They tried it, man.
They
He won't
did.
be tried.
They
They
tried
did.
it.
He kind of just faded away without much.
And I tried to like him too.
And then what
They
happens?
conditioned my mind to make me try to like this guy. I tried.
that's
And then
what
what
they do.
happens? Like, this is the thing, like, about the plant. And it's important. It's an important question because, like, if the plant thing doesn't work out and you're just left with your day ones and you haven't built day ones organically, you end up like Rory. And I'd take it even further. And I know that Tiny Tempers are sort of different flavor, but I don't know who's checking for Tiny.
I don't remember the last time.
I don't know
can't accept the
anybody
tiny one,
who's
man,
checking for
man.
Tiny.
I can't accept the tiny one.
I get it when he explains the way he did. Like when
It
Rich
makes sense because there
explains-
was a massive gap between
when Rich
why
explains the way he did,
I
to
don't
get linked
know.
up with Labyrinth and all that, it makes sense.
Bruh,
when you
like
think about
and then when that was gone, He's doing songs with like Zara Larsson. He's basically a feature on songs and he's pushing that as his own single because there's no other hits.
I get it, bro.
You know what I mean? Like,
But he was massive at one point. This guy
shout out Tiny though, man.
Tiny's
like,
song was on WrestleMania, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is Chance still a plant then? Even after this?
Is it hard? I mean,
Until he admits it.
things about plants is that they eventually blossom, man. It doesn't matter. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's literally just like planting the fucking seed and waiting for that shit to expand. And once you get to the point where it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who cares?
But are they bad for
I would
the
argue that he probably peaked when he was a plant.
Are they bad though for...
No, I don't think they are bad. I want a Chance the Rapper.
Do you think there's anything wrong with being a plant?
No.
If the music is whacked, then of course.
It's just a different way to bring an artist to the market now.
If it's good music, then we all
It's all a
win.
business.
Then maybe
at the
that's
end
why
of
I
the
feel away with Stormzy, because I feel like it's good music.
Yeah.
So I don't like associating it with
Whereas
him.
I don't think it's good music. So
I'm not the biggest.
There was zero need to add that.
Don't-
Like, zero need to add
just
that.
saying.
Like there was zero need for him to say I don't like his music.
Crown was trash, man.
Crown is
I
so
like
bad.
Crown.
Nah, you don't.
What, fam?
Crown.
Say that with a
Heavy.
straight.
Yo,
One more
telling
time. One more
someone
time.
you
One more
like
time with a
something
straight
hilarious.
face. Say that again with
Wait,
a
I'm trying to
straight
remember how the lyrics
face.
go, fam. Heavy is the end. Yeah, fam, that song was alright still. I didn't mind Crown.
No, sir.
I didn't like. Look, fam, you man ain't gonna fight me for what I like.
I might.
Vossy Bop wasn't even...
Vossy what was? Nah, stop it. Vossy
The
what was
beat
that?
is hard, but...
Yo, fam. Nah, fam. With Idris in the video as well.
I hate when people try to make something that
Idris
isn't a thing.
Listen, I
Like,
had to
what
like-
is a Vossy Bop?
Nah, Vossy Bop was wavy, fam. Vossy Bop and Idris was in the video, and Idris married to a Somali woman. So by default, I have to like the song.
That's a link.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm
He said that so effortlessly as well. Like,
saying? 16 separation.
it's like he's been preparing it in the chamber for a
separation,
while.
16 degrees of separation, isn't it?
Is that what it is?
Come on, now, fam.
Hey, Mo smarter than that
Yeah,
song.
no, I think
A little bit.
Chance ain't a plant no more. Chance is fully established and he's making mad money and he's a good artist and like, I really like him.
It's like Pokemon, fam. You remember that flower? It evolves you to a madness.
Oh,
What was it called?
Oh, Bulbasaur?
That's not Bulbasaur.
no, the plant.
Bulbasaur was the grass. But
this
remember there was the yellow one
the plant.
with the mouth, and it just had a mouth.
Oh, Weeping Bell.
Yeah, fam. This is what this reminds me of.
Oh,
And that turned into nice. Yeah, them plant.
but anyway, this is what this
Bell.
reminds me of. Like,
Yeah.
you
Victory
know what I mean,
Bell?
fam?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Victory Bell. I don't know.
Our majority
Anyway.
of plants white.
No,
No.
no,
Well,
Let's
I
check.
don't know.
Let's check in.
no, I don't think so. But my boy, who's the newest plant? Lad who pulled up. Lad who went up on.
Alex.
Man who went up on stage at Glastonbury with Dave.
Yeah, Alex.
Oh, Alex from Glastonbury.
You think he's a
Plant.
plant?
100% a plant.
My G, he was on Good Morning TV the next day.
But that's
Yeah, but that's
I don't.
He's got a
I-
song
yeah,
out
but-
now.
yeah, but
I
we
feel
didn't know
like
Dave
that's-
was gonna
no,
pick
no,
him,
No,
though.
to me, that's more.
You don't think that was part of a marketing plan?
But then that says Dave.
How so?
That means Dave's got something to do with it.
How so?
Of course, Dave's got something to do with it.
I don't think so, man.
Well, actually, to be fair, he was wearing the PSG hat. He knew what it was.
But then that
to
doesn't
Thiago
mean
Silva.
shit. That's like me wearing
I
an
think-
Arsenal top and then I got a song called Henri.
That's
He
kind of
plucked-
close though.
He
That's kinda
plucked the
close.
But
one
then
man.
no,
Do you know
but
how
Dave-
big Glastonbury is?
But Dave does that every single show. Every single show Dave does, he pulls someone out to sing Thiago.
Are they always wearing a PSG?
And then
shirt?
how come how come none of them else are blown?
Because this was Glastonbury. He does that at every single show.
Bruv.
The only show he never done it, and he even said it. When I saw him at Murky Fest, he was like, this is the first time I've done Thiago Silva and haven't put anyone on stage.
Dave,
The only reason why I feel like this
how
white
much you
boy...
want to bet, bruv? I guarantee my life, nobody on Good Morning TV knows who Dave is.
No, but
How the hell is
but this my
Dave
point.
plucking someone
But this my
from
point.
Glastonbury's
This my
crowd
point, though.
gonna
I
end
feel
them up on TV
I feel
before
like-
Dave?
I feel like this was the conversation we had last week. I feel like this is a race. I feel like race plays a factor in that. Do I think he's a plant now? Yes, because I feel like the money behind him.
But it's not
But
like-
I feel like the only reason why he was on GMTV, whatever the fuck that
it's
show
not like
is called,
Stormzy
is 'cause
pulling him
it's-
up or Beyonce
bruv, it's
pulling him
'cause he's
up.
a white boy rapping.
Man.
That's literally all it is in my opinion. Is a white boy rapping. Alright, come on stage.
We seen that before.
Where?
If you had one shot, one opportunity,
And where is he?
rapping like this.
Like, do you know what I mean? I generally feel like it's just a race thing. I feel like this white boy. I remember
We've
BBC
seen
tweet.
white boys
I remember
rapping. Like
BBC
Dappy's been a white boy rapping since.
Dappy's different.
Why?
Dappy's a white boy who thinks he's got pigment.
But why is he now making a song though?
Because
Why
he's a
can't
white boy who's a cultural. Let me know if it gets
He
started.
is a plant.
No, get
my
started.
yay.
Like, he
What's
is
my
like-
name? My guy's name. My
Yeah,
yay.
he is different. That's a
Bruv,
sparkle, by the way.
he's another one. Like there are plants all
but
over
I
the
don't
place.
I feel like he's a plant. I feel like what's the white boy's name? Let's call him Billy. I feel like Billy is a
Alex.
plant.
Alex.
I was
Billy's
very
better.
close, by the way.
Okay,
I was
go.
very
That
close.
wasn't even close.
Now, when I see John now, yeah, the reason why I feel like he's a plant now is because it's circumstantial. He went on stage, now they know they can put money behind him.
Bro, you
I don't feel like,
you don't think this is the wildest convenience.
I'm not gonna lie, maybe,
coincidence.
in my opinion, it might be because of where I have Dave. I can't see Dave doing that more than anything else. Just because I look at Dave at a certain stature. Do you see what I'm saying?
Then you got to bring him down a peg or two.
No, 'cause
because
I
it don't mean just because he's a great artist, authentic. That doesn't mean he may not be involved with the play.
I don't feel like he is.
All right, cool.
This guy went on. I think he was on.
But that's
Sky News.
That's not.
He was on everything.
You know
Good
what I'm saying though,
morning.
bruv. That's not.
Like-
I feel like that literally. I feel like the Dave and him thing was organic. I feel like whatever happened after, it's literally a white boy was on stage in Glastonbury. We're in England and we know what kind of country England is when it comes to race.
But he's also been given an opportunity to
Because he's
go and
white.
But he can also be a plant too.
I agree. I didn't say he's not a plant. I said he's a plant afterwards. I feel like what him and Dave done was circumstantial, and then he became a plant.
Well, Bad Baby as well. Bad Baby's a plant.
There would have
Bad
been.
Baby's- of course she's a plant.
100%. 100%.
But it goes back to the whiteness thing, right?
I got a question for you. What did you say?
And Atlantic, right?
Yeah.
Companies who now basically are focused on turning viral stars into pop stars.
That's the whole MO.
All right,
You feel me?
but
You do something viral which has nothing to do with music, and then eventually you become a musician. That's the strategy.
no, I agree. But I generally feel like the Dave thing was organic because he does that every single
He could have
show.
picked anybody in the.
Yeah,
it's
but
a,
then
it's a
what-
show.
alright,
It's
so what-
anyone in
so
the
what
front.
happens-
How much you want to bet people in the front row knew the lyrics better than that?
So
boy?
what happens if he did pick someone in the front row and the same thing happens? You're not going to say the same thing.
No, my point is it wouldn't.
But how do you know though?
It's just based on my view that this guy is a plant. I don't know for
I
sure.
I agree. He's
I
a
don't know
plant.
for sure
No,
that the guy.
I agree he's a plant. I just think.
Oh, you think he's a plant?
Yeah, but I think the Dave and thing. I feel like the Dave and the Billy was circumstantial.
I think
And then they put the money
I think that
in
would have happened.
after.
I think that would have happened to anyone Dave picked who was somewhat capable at rapping.
That's my point. I feel like no matter
But that
who
still
he
makes-
picked,
but
no
he
matter
still
who
be
he
a plant.
picked was going to be a plant because they want to put money in him
No,
after.
no.
It just they got lucky the fact that he was a white boy.
Nah, I think it was well thought out, and I think Dave secured a bag.
It can go away.
I don't know, man.
You reckon? You think he's got to share the boohoo deal?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't
All I'm
think he's
saying
got
is-
any boohoo.
All I'm saying is,
But
I really dislike that kid.
I think it's like they'll probably end up on the same label.
Well, I dislike that kid anyway.
Look out for that.
I genuinely,
Look out for that.
I can't stand that kid.
See how far he goes if he takes it further. Let's see if him and Dave end up
It's
on the
not
same
even-
label.
But the kid's not the problem. The problem is the industry.
The kid's the problem as well
Why is he the problem?
because he's benefiting of us.
The guy is 14.
I don't care. Then
What
his
do you
mum's the
mean?
problem. Then his mum's the problem.
His mum's a problem.
Yeah, and his dad,
All right,
and
man.
his granddad.
His whole lineage.
Shout out to Khalid mum.
Don't touch me.
Nah, I'm joking.
You know about Khalid Muhammad, Rich?
No.
Muhammad, explain.
Yo, man, I can't remember. I'll send you the video.
yeah, it's in the video.
It's a bit long, fam.
Basically, an excommunicated member of the Nation of Islam.
Basically, got kicked out of Nation of Islam because it's a bit too
Because
extreme.
of his extremism.
Imagine how
Can you
extreme you
imagine?
got to be to get kicked out of Nation
Do you know
of
what I
Islam.
mean?
Wow.
You never heard of him?
He basically said we should kill all white men.
He's a
women,
bit. He's
children,
very OD with it.
dig them up, bury them, dig them up, kill
Nah,
them again.
nah, say it properly, fam. He said you gotta kill the kid. He said you gotta kill the faggots. And then they were like, he's like, they asked me, why you gotta kill the kids? Because one day them crackers gonna raise up and what do you say? What do you say? They're gonna raise up and own your kids. And he's like, why kill the mamas? Why kill the baby fathers? They're just blue-eyed babies. He's so flagrant, bro. What? And he's like, you kill them all. And then you dig him up. And you kill him a goddamn
views
day.
of
He was
Kaleem
crazy.
Mohammed are not consistent
Oh,
with the
man.
views of the
Bro, he's
rhymes
wild,
like
fam.
dying
This guy said, I told
hosts.
Nelson Mandela
and
that day
their
he don't know a
guests.
goddamn.
All that guess.
You know how wild it is for him to say he was told, I told Nelson Mandela that day he don't know a goddamn thing about me. I Khalid Muhammad is mad.
Why have you got this memorized?
That's the maddest part.
That's why I had to put the disclaimer in right there.
Oh
I'm
man.
not gonna lie. I've watched it quite a few times. You need to.
And you guys call me extreme.
No, because I don't believe it though.
No, you're
You need to
definitely
see
extreme.
another thing. What's that? You guys will know. Please say remember. What's that white guy that used to interview people like Louis Farrakhan and they'll have a white.
Oh, something Donahue.
Yeah, Liam Donahue or something. And they'll
Phil
have
Donahue.
They were Phil.
That's it,
I was
yeah.
close. Liam. They have a half and half in it. So one half is nation and one half is white people in it. Yeah. And then one lady was like, side along like, you gonna apologize? He said, "Why don't you shut your goddamn?" Bro, I don't think I understand. When I tell you it was World War III, the audience, fam, yeah? One lady was cool. So one black lady got up and must have said something, yeah? Like, along the lines of, why can't we all get along? Straight after that, another black lady got on the phone. I don't know what that lady over there talking
Yeah, I
about.
see that. Yeah, I see that.
Nah, I'm not, bruv. Watching Khalid Muhammad videos is amazing. I'm not gonna lie, man. But he's too
He's
wild.
a great
Never heard
talker,
of this
man.
guy.
He's
But
the-
back to the podcast.
Yeah, he's too wild with it. Sorry.
I feel like the industry plants now are just like
They're
a way of life in the industry. They're never going to go away. If anything, they might
Yeah,
increase
man.
in size. basically.
Just
Maybe
make
they've
sure,
always
just
been there,
make
man.
sure the music's popping,
That's
man.
literally
like,
all it is.
Just make sure the music's popping and just dead the whole narrative about being super independent. If you're
Yeah.
backed by a label and you're lucky enough to be backed by a big label, man, own that shit, man. Milk that shit because the labels don't really care about you, yo. They're just taking your money.
But we live in a time
Make
where
sure you sign better deals.
the guise of artists being independent but having worked with major labels or independent labels, it's definitely a current trend that's going on still now. Like urban quote unquote artists are using labels nowadays they're basically using their resources to market the album, make the album, and then the album is still under the copyright of said artist, like an independent or whatever. So it's a thing that's going on. It's going to keep happening because I suppose it's a win-win for both parties.
Yeah, man. You're just guaranteeing success.
Who's the biggest plant you lot can think of? Period. Like just ever.
Off the top of my head, probably Chance at the moment. But there's probably been loads.
Like,
If we are calling Stormzy
Elvis.
a plant, then maybe Stormzy.
it depends, man. It's levels to it. Like,
Chance is bigger than Stormzy.
I'm talking about from a UK standpoint.
Elvis.
I'm just talking about period.
all right, well, think about it this way, right?
Elvis is great. That's great.
Plant.
Yeah.
Did you say Elvis?
Yeah.
Think he was a plant?
He definitely was a plant.
I think so, man.
Nothing
I mean,
organic about Elvis. He stole everything.
Yeah, I just think he was signed to a big.
had a lot of money
No, I just think he
behind
was
him.
signed to a big label and copied people's styles. I don't necessarily think he was a plant. He was manufactured.
Isn't that equivalent to being a plant, being manufactured?
No, because you can say, for example, I'm looking for a girl group, and you can put together a TLC. Or you can put together like a Spice Girls.
Simon Cowell does it for a living.
It's not necessarily being planted. You go out, you go and make music in the normal way that people make music. You go back to the label with a body of work, and then they say these are the singles, and then we run a campaign normally. We tap into the radio connections that we have normally. Like, that's not necessarily a plant. That's just being signed to a label.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I think they kind of go hand in hand.
No,
I think
so.
a lot of the time, if you're
The whole point of an industry plant, right, is that this feigned idea that you're not signed, right? You're doing this whole fake independent thing while you are aligned to a label. You're being
that's not what I
backed.
make of it. That's not what I make of it.
That's
What it is. Industry plant is somebody who is basically aligned to a label,
But saying they're independent.
but they're saying they're independent while reaping all the benefits of their industrial ties.
Well, in that case, then
Feel me?
maybe not Elvis then.
So Chance.
Yeah, so the biggest one. It's a new phenomenon, right? So like, it's
Recently,
got to be in the States. It's maybe
No, but it might not be, but we won't know. Do you know what I mean?
maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like a newer phenomenon now in terms of like no one really cared before. And now people kind of like, oh, you're a plant. I don't even know why fans care about that shit. But like, yeah, in the US, maybe Chance. In the UK, probably Stormzy.
No, it's definitely.
I mean,
Like Georgia Smith.
other fans will just
Maybe
use it as a
Georgia
crutch against the artist because they might not necessarily like or respect
but
the
like, if you're
artist.
Stormzy, do you give a fuck, man? Like,
Nah, no
as
way.
Mo rightly said, like Stormzy's come out and it's just like nothing but props and gratitude to the people who come before him. Like, he's doing it the right way.
He's the reason why. Yeah,
Do you
I
know what I
feel
mean?
like
He's doing
gonna
it the
buy
right way.
But that's why he's offended. That's why Mo's offended.
Yeah,
when
because
people call him a plant.
like he does.
But they
stuff
can
that-
coexist,
But
that's the thing.
but he does stuff I don't see a lot of rappers do. I don't know how many rappers have given back to their community like that.
Yeah.
like, as
He's-
publicly as he has.
But as Rich said, he's blossomed.
Yeah, I feel you.
now he's doing
Yeah, no, I agree. Because like
what he wanted to do anyway.
When Skepta does performances, when Skepta was the first rapper to headline Wireless, no knock against him. At least him talk like, yo, shout out to this person, like the same way Stormzy did when he headlined.
The big difference is
I get what you say. The difference is stage, but what I'm saying
no,
is
not even that.
What?
Skepta was actually independent.
no. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying the gratitude that Stormzy gives. I don't see a lot of rappers.
Have
give.
they ever
does that
done?
mean?
Have they
I'm saying that the way-
ever done a song together? Stormzy and Skepta.
I don't think so.
They've been featured on a Avelino song together, but they haven't done a song together.
I think there's something to that.
What do you think this?
What? What do you think there's something to?
Let's just leave the suspense.
Shout out to Stormzy, man. He's winning in
He
life.
just
man.
fucked up the
Got-
suspense.
that would have been dope as well.
He just fucked up the suspense. Silence.
Oh, you want to leave it?
Silence.
Cool. I've got.
Can you quiet?
I'm a grown man, fam.
I just
Don't
think-
silence me,
I
fam.
just
You're
think
not
there's
Dumbledore,
something-
fam.
I just think there's something to
Yes, I
that.
am.
You're not Dumbledore, fam. Don't say silence.
You
to
got a
me, fam.
beacon of independence and the face of industry plants. Whoa. Personality.
It's like
clash.
Gryffindor versus Slytherin.
I'm saying. I just think there's something to it.
Well, on that note,
There's probably nothing to it.
There isn't nothing to it. No, they generally not. They
You know,
I'm
sounds
I'm
better though,
lying.
innit?
You know I'm lying. There's definitely something to it.
I don't feel like there is, you know. Because Stormzy had beef with someone. I forgot who it was.
Two biggest grime artists, both make grime, never collabed at the same time at the peak of our success.
Yeah. When you say that, it's a bit wild. He even had Crazy Tish on his album.
I'm saying
You had Crazy Titch?
Stormzy.
Oh shoot.
at the same time,
Stormzy's-
but at the same time, I mean, it's not like
Sorry.
all the biggest pop stars collab with each other.
Rap is UK rap.
Yeah, but I feel
But
all
UK
the
rap's
time.
different.
All the time.
No, but rap is different though. UK rap is different.
Yeah, man.
It's
They're
everyone
around the
show,
corner from each other. They see each other all the time.
everyone show
I
love to
hear you,
everyone.
but I mean, there's obviously a
To
reason
never
why it
have
hasn't
a song
happened.
with each
And there's
other?
obviously a reason why it hasn't happened.
Yeah, but to never have a song with each other.
But that can happen.
I mean, it could be that Stormzy doesn't like Skepta's style or Skepta doesn't like Stormzy's style. It could be something as simple as that, but I don't.
Let's not start anything.
so.
Innit? Well, let's
Well,
not
it could
start
just be
anything.
personal. There could be like personal issues.
Let's not start anything. man.
Skepta wants to move to my jammer.
I mean, who doesn't?
I feel him.
God bless her, fam.
All right, lads, let's have some fun in this last topic.
Hey,
So I guess now is the time.
I've been having fun these whole topics, by the way. All of these topics have been.
Fair
Are
enough.
you gonna be back?
Oh yeah.
No, you'll be back. You'll be back. You're gonna
Be
be.
careful what you wish for.
What is it when you're not a guest anymore? Like at that point, like you're here.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, bruv. Like
Yeah.
no Breakfast Club.
I mean,
we
he's
didn't have on a race.
he's actually
Angela
Like, you know,
he's technically
you know
family
Angela
to the
Rye,
show.
Donna Rawlings.
Oh, Angela Rye.
Like you know how
God
Angela
damn.
Rye, Donna Rawlings are on Breakfast
Donna,
Club.
oh,
Like you know
man.
how, but his last episode is most probably the funniest Breakfast Club interview.
The one he did like a couple months ago.
and he had a fake book
where he falls over and he
yeah,
laughs.
and he's like,
bruv.
why you got big pun house selling, and then you go on every Insta page, yeah, some fat guy he's selling yard with. That's what's gonna happen here, though. Just
I haven't watched. Okay, fair enough.
Alright, cool, my bad.
Thank you. So yeah, guys, let's have some fun and let's reel off some of our favorite opening lines to a verse.
I've been looking forward to this.
Oh shit.
Yeah, man.
All
I feel
week.
like this topic's an important one, man,
I've got a-
because how you set off a verse, yeah, says a lot.
Everything, get it?
Yeah, bro, man.
Everything.
You could just set the tone for a whole song based on that opening few lines of a verse.
Has there ever been a situation for you where you've been gassed by the first few lines of a verse,
Bruv.
but then felt shortchanged by the rest of it?
Oh,
All of the time.
There's probably been.
I can't
a
think
few,
off the
but
top of my
I
head,
can't-
though.
I can't think right now, man.
Alright, fair enough.
Do you want me to reel off first?
Go ahead, man.
So number one is that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
Oh my
I don't care what anyone
days.
says.
Shit.
I don't care what anyone says.
That definitely set a tone.
That's the greatest opening line I've ever heard in my life.
Disrespectful.
Bruv, I don't think you understand. To set off, yeah, that's why I fucked your bitch. That's rude, number one. And I don't no one cared if it was a lie. Do you know what I'm saying? Off the top of that, Faith Evans pressed Tupac. And then he says, you fat motherfucker.
Allegedly.
And he says, take money. Come on, bruv. Come on, man.
Big up Faith, man.
No, I'm sorry, bruv. That's
She's aging like a fine
to
wine.
me, she really is, but she's with Stevie J, so she takes minus points.
Yikes.
But with that being said, to me, that's the greatest opening line I've ever heard. Just maybe I like disrespectful shit.
When you heard that, did you feel like more disrespect was coming along?
From there, you know what's going on.
Alright.
As soon as you hear, because you know when people say,
But like-
there's a fine line, but then first thing they say, you fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
And then he
take
repeated
money.
it.
Yeah.
First
And
I
after
fucked your bitch.
you the click, you click.
Like, he-
West Side, when that right,
He was gonna let you know
What?
he fucked your bitch.
Come on, man. Like to you, for you to start off something like that, you already know what time it is, and it's the aggressiveness he came with it as well. Emphasis in bitch.
True.
And then
he was strong.
it's like 4 bars after that. He says, "You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife."
We bust
So,
some
like,
bad boys, niggas.
He's literally told you 3 times within 30 seconds of this track
and in the video got a little
that
clip
he's
back up
possibly
after
had
that.
sex
Yo,
with your
tell
chick
another
3
man
times.
that you bust on him is crazy.
We bust some bad boys, niggas fuck for life.
Yeah.
But with that being said, that's one. And another one is I want to forget the words, but abomatomically. So
Don't fucking steal that one, bro. That's
did you have that?
shit.
Abomatomically,
Abomatomically.
Socrates, philosophies,
shit.
and
I'm down one. I'm
hypotheses.
down one.
Couldn't-
That's come on.
Can't
now.
define how
Abomatomically, you gotta have the New
It's
York
too,
accent.
I'm sorry, it's too many.
Abomatomically.
Abomatomically. It's too
Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't define why I be dropping these mockeries. Lyrically
Was it, guys?
perform all
Guys, that was my
robberies.
pick.
Play with the lottery. Possibly they spotted me. Battle scar
This is why-
shogun.
this
Expose
is why I
you with my
drop
pen
out.
hits.
Yo, yo, yo,
Tremendous.
yo, yo.
Ultraviolet shine blind forensics. I inspect you. Through the future, see millennium.
Alright.
Killer B, soul 60 gold, 50
Cool.
platinum.
So,
Yeah, alright, show off.
Everyone, that was my pick. I know you can't tell by the
Drastic rap tactics.
Yo, Peter, don't.
Pete had to chime in. He could not let us have
No,
fun.
you know what's bad? He will say the last word of every sentence, like it was a Sean Paul song, fam. This guy was literally saying the last word of everything I said. But yeah, that's my 2 picks.
That's probably one of the best.
I feel like I won.
That's top. Well, for me, top 20 verses.
I feel like I won.
You feel like you won.
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't know if it's
We ain't even
competition.
had our time
I know.
yet.
I just felt it. Listen, those 2 are amazing.
For real.
I fucked your bitch and abomatomically.
Pete, what you got?
I got Pusha T, the opening verse to So Appalled. This guy was like, success is what you make it. Take it how you come. 500,000 20s like $1 billion where I'm from. An arrogant drug dealer, the legend I become. CNN said I'll be dead by 21.
Yeah.
Bruv, those opening lines
Didn't we say-
alone.
Before you say anything, audience, I want to let you know. When Peter's about to get in his bag, he does this to his nose. He basically touches his nose bare, like
DMX.
like he's scratching his nose bare.
rid of
Like,
it straight,
and I don't know why he
you know
does
what I mean?
it.
I don't know why you
Definitely not a family trait, but go ahead.
whatever. But like, yeah, man, those
So
opening.
we're doing like, just for clarity, like we're doing opening
thought
lines
we was
to
doing
a
opening
verse,
lines. No, I thought we
or
was just
opening
doing
line to a
opening line.
song.
Opening loans to a verse.
But I thought we was just doing the opening line, not the whole. You rap.
Yeah, he did the whole 16
You done
just
16?
now,
No,
bro.
that was like 3 lines.
No, bro, you done the 16.
You can do song as well.
Nah, but I thought we was just doing. I said, fuck your bitch, you fat motherfucker. That's one line.
Oh, so I can do one line. That's
Yeah,
fine.
just keep it to one line.
But nonetheless, though, man, those opening lines let me know. All right, cool. He's about to tell me some crud. I know the energy that he's coming with. What's gonna come next in the rest of the verse. So I like that, man. He already pulled me in with those opening lines. So yeah, man. I think Push is great for that. There's a few rappers that are like really good for that. And then I got another one, which is the opening couple of lines to New Godflow, again by Pusha and Kanye.
I believe there's a God above me.
I'm just a god of everything else. I put holes in everything else. New God flow, fuck everything else.
Supreme dope dealer, writing bold letters. They love a nigga pocket the Coachella. They say push
Fit with the
Lads,
umbrella.
lads, this isn't the opening line
Yeah,
anymore.
like a wholesaler.
Lads, this isn't the opening line anymore.
And then that's why Kanye was
This
like,
isn't the opening
the
line
yay
anymore.
jumped over jump, man. Oh, yeah, sorry.
But yeah, I think Push is really good at that. Those opening lines, man. Like I feel like
New
they just
Godflow was a
instantly
shout.
pull you in. I think he sets the tone very early. I think him, Scarface, and Biggie might be the best when it comes to those opening lines of verses.
I got one. Nicki Minaj, a monster.
Pull up
Can't
in
tell-
that monster, pull up real, all on real
Order a
gangster.
real gangster with a bad bitch that came from Sri Lanka.
She did come
You
from Sri
can be the
Lanka.
you can be the king, but watch the queen conquer.
First things first, now eat
I
your
think that's
brain.
a great. I think
And
that's a great
what-
because it let you know that something stupid was about to happen, and boy, she delivered 100%.
Her best verse ever.
That might still be her greatest moment.
Probably is.
But that's her best verse ever. Ever. She's never going to top that.
For you. Also, fuck Jay-Z. I like that one too.
Yo, that Soul Paul song, like everybody went in sick. Like Sci High's verse, I think is still like one of the best
that was
like
hard.
guest appearances, like for the first time. And even the way Jay comes in. How should I begin this? I'm just so offended. How am I even mentioned by all these fucking beginners? I'm so appalled. I might buy the mile just to show you niggas how much more I have in style. I mean,
I'm fresher than you
everybody
are.
went in on that tune, bro.
that's
Like,
hard.
but yeah,
Very true.
Oh, yeah, I felt Rick Ross's opening verse to Lord knows as well.
bruv.
I fell in love with the pen.
Bruv.
Started fucking the ink.
Bruv.
The hustles of art. I painted what I would think. Hey, stop it.
Yeah.
What?
Swimming in the water, what a wonderful view.
Only
fat nigga in the sauna with Jews.
Yeah. Rick Ross.
We're not even rapping opening verses no
Yo,
more.
Rick Ross should have had Lord knows to himself. Fuck
Swear
Drake.
down.
He should have taken that from Aubrey.
bottom
But he also had,
Came the bottom bar.
But he also had Devil in a New Dress as well. Looking
Yeah.
at my bitch, I bet she give
Yeah.
your ass a bone.
Yeah.
Looking at my wrist, it will turn your ass to stone.
Yeah, he's good at that.
He's
He's
very
good
good at
at
intros.
I got a couple Rogue best intro verses.
I want to hear this. Oh, man.
You might remember Special Delivery.
You that?
Signed, sealed.
Delivered in just the nigga time. Real. I'ma give it to you, mothers.
I said the hip, the hop, the hippity hop.
No, that's not.
disrespectful.
That's a great intro line too. Though.
Ayo, sign, seal, delivered in just the nigga time. Yeah, Special Delivery G-Dub. That's like one of my favorites. Bombs Over Baghdad, under 3,000. In Slum National Thunder Pound. How's it go? In Slum National Underground Thunder Pounds when I stomp the ground.
Sick.
Yeah, you're by yourself.
Very,
there, bro.
very sick.
I don't know why you
A
look.
great song though.
It's a great song.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you.
And then when I was sleeping on the train, sleeping now I'm miserable, out all in the rain. Well, not even a single
Electronica.
slice of pizza to my name.
When New
Too
York-
proud to beg for change, masking the pain. When New York
When
niggas was
were
calling
jacking
Southern rappers
slang.
lame, and then jacking our
Our slang.
slang. Jay Electronica.
Say fuck that. Call me Jet. I can't even repeat it.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
And then yeah, Prodigy, Shook Ones.
Oh, I was gonna go keep it thorough. I break bread, ribs, $100 bills.
Yeah, but it's not quite. I got you stuck off the realness.
The
We be the infamous,
infamous.
y'all heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers.
Yeah, no, it's not.
You know, I realize, yeah, a lot of my opening verses that I like are disses.
Because you're always on crowd.
Yeah, relax. But I feel like that's what attracts me more. Like when Pusha was like to Drake, what did he say again? When he was like, oh shit, what is that? Drug dealing aside, ghostwriting aside, let's have a heart to heart, you and I. Like,
but even Drake
you're on straight away, bro. Like, you're talking to him as an like
confrontational flows.
Yeah, like fuck writing, fuck ghostwriting, fuck the drug dealing. Let's just have a heart. Let me just chat to you as a big man.
But
Let me low deluxe this whole situation.
But Drake did the same thing though on Duppy Freestyle. He was like, so if you, what'd he say?
So if you rebuke me...
There you go.
Yeah,
so if you rebuke me for working with somebody else on a couple of V's, what do you really think of the nigga that's making your beats?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Nah, I
Yeah,
feel
he
you.
set
I
the
feel
tone
you.
with that.
Oh man, that was
But then I
crazy.
feel like the way Push, as soon as I heard that, I knew, you know what Push
Duppy
is.
is really good at that, though.
For Push to say,
cold diss track.
Duppy is
for Push to say,
amazing.
But for Push to say, drug talking aside,
And
that's
his
a
whole,
big thing.
his whole
And
MO
his
is...
whole MO is
yeah,
just
yeah.
for, you know what I mean? It's just,
yeah.
I think I take into context who Pusha T is. It's not so much the line. It's Pusha T saying drug dealing aside. It's like, wait a minute, that's what you talk about.
Wait a minute.
Like, wait a minute, you made me want to sell weight.
I had to drop the weight just
Like,
to talk to you.
You made me want to sell weight. Like, Pusha T has made me want to sell drugs 1 or 2 times.
I think we've all been there, bro.
You know what I mean, fam? Like, it makes you legit want to go.
Yeah.
Me, fam.
Push's verses make me...
Go
feel
like the connect, didn't it?
Yeah, for real, man.
But yeah. Oh yeah, and obviously you got that classic thing. Oh shit, my mind's gone blank now. What's the public service announcement intro?
Oh,
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
That's a classic though, isn't it? Hey,
I mean, that's as far as like classic verses go. It's probably up there.
yeah. But I feel like that's a quick
Yeah.
Anyone from the UK?
Pussy and rum, that's a rider for real MCs.
That's a great one.
So good. Well,
All
that's
right. That's a good one.
all right then. Right then.
Follow that up.
All right.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start.
I'm doing it again. They tried to stop me, but I'm doing it again.
Hey, doing it again. All right, yeah, you're right.
I mean, all of those bars, all of their verses on that song.
Some man don't like me. They tried to bat Miami when Kano comes to town.
No, that's a great song. No opening, great line.
No, that's a great line.
I'm not trying to
That's
shit on him.
That's a great start for me.
I don't think that's a great start. I feel like the song was good, but I don't feel like.
No,
when
like
I heard
that.
that, I didn't think, wait a minute.
Off the rip, he let me know what flows he was coming with, and I knew that I was, all right, cool, I'm going to have to keep up it.
Maybe I'm just nitpicking, innit?
I know you are. That's fine, though.
I bet they're busting from the street to the slammer. They're trying to see if Dizzy stays true to his grammar. Being a celebrity don't mean shit to me.
Fuck the glitz.
Fuck the glitz and glamour.
Hit him with the blitz and hammer.
I was a dizzy, man.
That's all right.
It's all right.
I thought that was really good.
That's all right.
But there's been some great
cool.
opening verses.
Yeah.
100%.
No one will say Eminem's 8 Mile.
Nah, nothing.
Arms, any sweet arms. What was it again?
Keep mum spaghetti away from me, man.
Arms steady.
What was it again?
Well, no parts of that.
Wait, hold on. How did it start?
What,
though?
G that?
No, the Eminem.
His palms are sweaty.
Eminem.
His palms are
Knees-
sweaty.
Knees
weak.
weak. Arms
let's
heavy.
get it,
Vomit
man.
on the
Oh, no,
spread
shit, I was
already.
already.
Arms spaghetti. He's
But
nervous.
no,
But on the surface, he looks calm and ready to drop bars.
genuinely-
But he keeps on
I
forgetting.
genuinely hate this song, guys.
When he
Like,
broke down, the whole crowd goes so loud. He
Opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how everybody's choking how.
how many
hold
times you been at like a student union bar and you knew the night was over when that came on?
Now, white people love it.
A few times.
White people, whoa! Oh my
Yeah,
god!
you filed this under like
White people want to punch guys when they hear that song.
That's their
Summer
their,
of 69,
That's
isn't
their
it?
Andy up.
It's Annie up.
they love Annie Up.
That's why people
Summer
say
of
Annie Up.
69.
They made me not like
No, that Annie up is Mr. Brightside.
House of Pain next to Lose Yourself, and then some Bon Jovi, and then like
Some
the lights come on, and it's time
Mr.
for you to-
Brightside.
Time for them to go home, innit?
Yeah.
But
Shout out,
Yeah.
man.
But it's hard to even identify rappers that aren't great with the opening lines. Like, I don't feel like you can identify verses that don't start off.
It's the hardest part of a whole verse, man. Is that opening line?
You have that difficulty.
It's tough, man. It's not difficulty as such. You kind of know what you want to say, but
is
like,
that what sets off everything else?
Yeah, man, 100%.
It's like when Nas did NY State of Mind.
And he said,
You
I don't
can
know how to
hear
start this.
Faintly, you can hear him say, "I don't know how to start this,"
And
and
he knew
just-
exactly how to start
But
this.
then he knew. From a like
trying
verse
to be
writing
smart,
perspective,
Yeah.
You're just trying to be smart.
from like a verse writing perspective, Rich, can you only start with the verse as far as like the writing process goes, or do you have thoughts? Do you have times where you have lines here and there, and then you put them all together, and then you come up with an intro? How's that like?
There's really no like right or wrong way to do it. Sometimes I'll get a beat and it's amazing, and I'll write a verse and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not a first verse, that's a second verse. Do you know what I mean? I need a first verse. Sometimes I'll hear a beat and the first thing I'll write is a hook. I've sometimes And weirdly, like the last 5-6 songs I've probably released, I haven't had a hook written until I've started recording. So most of the last few songs I've had that have a hook were pretty much freestyled, like at the point. And when I say freestyled, they were improvised at that point. So there really is no right or wrong way to doing it. Like the opening line to any bar sets the tone. So you really, really want to ensure that that's smooth. But yeah, there's no right or wrong way to doing it. Like
Fair enough.
writing is it's a unique art, and you can't be too overly structured when it comes to it because you'll find yourself in a hole quite quickly. Yeah.
P likes to feel like he's a writer.
Yeah,
Do
man.
I?
Yeah, you come telling us.
Yeah.
You definitely feel like you're a writer.
Not at all.
Album pending.
You're not good. You feel like you're
No,
a
I
writer.
don't think
Oh, I
I'm
got another one
definitely have
actually.
a. You
I
definitely
wouldn't
have,
even be a rapper though.
I got another one actually.
But I'm saying you have a notepad of R&B lyrics. I know it.
No, but I could definitely ghostwrite someone's album.
I ain't got time for this.
What,
I got one
R&B
more.
album?
Oh, for sure.
I got one more.
I got mad melodies in my head, bruv.
Good to know.
Remember Jay-Z Pancake?
Yeah.
It's like, I had Benzes before you had braces. The all matte Blake, the all
Yeah.
matte,
Oh, that was
the
a
all
good
matte.
one.
What do you say? They make the
All white Maybach, but I'm not a racist.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, that was.
This guy I had braces in when I was 14.
I feel like he was talking to Drake on that tune.
Fam, I believe him.
Yeah, I feel like he was chatting.
He
to
was
Drake.
standing on him though. That whole song when he was like, yeah, made me, push me.
Yeah, Jay's good at that though, man. He's good at sunning you on your own tunes. Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, thanks for that, guys. I feel like we got to know ourselves a lot better with that. 100%. But
Feel more connected with you guys.
100%, man. That's the purpose of the.
I like with this guy.
Huh?
I like with this guy.
So in summary, J. Cole's trash. Stormzy's a plant.
That's basically the
Yeah,
summary.
we're editing that.
Nah.
Nah, we're not editing like that.
Kendrick's #1.
Just one more thing before we wrap this up. Anyone listen to that? Tyler the Creator, Hot 97 freestyle.
I saw a snippet of it, and it looks like the funniest shit I haven't
Me
fully
and
watched.
Flex looking in the index for buff neck niggas looking for some hot butt
Why you
sex.
repeating?
Yo, that impression
why
is
you repeating
fire.
it? Why you repeating it? Huh? Why you repeating it?
Because it's hard, bro.
When I heard that, I was laughing.
It's hard.
By the way, I've come to a conclusion.
And then it's the
I don't know if he's
That's
gay.
why-
I don't think he's
No,
gay.
he's gay. He's gay.
I don't
And then he
think
looked, and then he looked, and then he
He's
looked.
bi. He's bi. It's a fact.
I don't think he is.
He said
I think he's trolling. I think he's trolling, man.
But that's why we'll never have a gay rapper, by the way.
And that's why he can get away with doing that freestyle.
That's why we'll
trolling
never.
on that
But then
freestyle. He's trolling on that freestyle.
Frank Ocean,
that freestyle shows you why there will never be a gay rapper.
Jaden Smith,
You know what I mean, though?
Tyler the Creator.
I mean,
All created with that truth.
I agree with you, but I'm saying in terms of a rapper's rapper, like, did you see the way Funk Flex looked at him the minute he said butt sex? Funk Flex looked like this guy dropped a bomb, fam.
It was uncomfortable, isn't it?
That's my point. That's why I
He
thought
did that deliberately.
What, just to fish off Funk Flex?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a troll.
My only problem is people were ignoring how good he was rapping because of the content.
He got busy. I think I said that in the WhatsApp
Yeah,
group.
you did.
But
Tyler
I said it in the
can
WhatsApp
spit,
group.
man.
He got busy.
I'm
But
a
I'm
fan
sorry,
though,
bro.
man.
I got to check out once he starts saying that.
And spit.
I've got to check out. Is there?
I'm an Earl fan. I'm
No,
not really
but
a Tyler fan. Man.
But you get what I'm saying though. He can rap, but the minute you start,
Tyler's more accessible.
the minute that's your content, I check out. I'm sorry, I check out. And you can't knock me for
Even if it's a joke.
even if it's a joke, bro. The minute you start talking about anally tampering someone,
Anally tampering.
like, come on, man.
So you're making it sound worse than it actually is.
Yeah.
No,
you
listen,
went
I'm not.
deeper.
You know what? Let me.
Pause.
I can't even. This is a legit conversation. I check out. I don't think
We're
I'm
gonna
wrong,
talk about it.
But I don't think I'm wrong.
We're
for
gonna
that.
talk about it.
Yeah, I think that you know what you're right. That's a podcast conversation.
That's definitely a podcast conversation.
That's next podcast. Do you think there could be a gay rapper? That's genuinely.
there are
Or
gay
just
rappers.
content and sexuality within
You think
content.
there
I
are
think
gay
that's a good one.
rappers?
No, I mean
There are
outwardly.
gay rappers.
I mean outwardly
Who?
gay rappers.
Kevin Abstract.
Kevin who?
Kevin Abstract is a gay
Brockhampton,
rapper.
right?
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't like Brockhampton.
Leaf.
What's his name? Abstract.
Kevin Abstract. You won't like Brockhampton if
Brockhampton.
if you don't
These
like
guys
what-
sound gay, fam.
Yeah, if you,
Their names
you
are.
won't like Brockhampton if you
would you
don't
say?
like that Tyler's verse. Like,
Yeah, no, do you know, no. I said to these, Tyler got
like,
busy.
Kevin
It's just-
Abstract could be rapping about giving like guys head on like Brockhampton tracks
keep
and
that with
stuff.
him.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Keep that away from me and my family, fam. Keep that away from me.
And I'm very.
By the way, I went
It's
Pride.
good music though.
What does that mean?
I went Pride. So like, I'm for these man rights.
For you.
I'm not.
You just don't
not
want to
like
hear
I'm-
about it.
You know you just
said-
did you just did like
I got black friends.
the gay equivalent of like
Definitely did.
I got black friends.
I'm not racist,
I'm
Mo
not
wants to be
racist, but-
Mo wants to be so PC.
Yo,
he
I'm
ends up
not
being
racist,
PC.
but it's crazy.
I went-
But like,
I went Pride.
No, but
But I went Pride
but
though.
wait, no, like I need you to. I went Pride.
What does that mean?
That don't mean nothing.
I'm for
bro.
their rights,
So
but I just can't fuck with
you
the
did not
music.
go to Pride for their rights.
I went Pride
Their
last year for their rights.
music.
Turn up
Don't you remember last year I went for their rights? I was at Pride last year.
for their rights or to turn
Yeah,
up.
no, for their rights. Like, yo, I support you, man.
All right, bro.
And even they were like, oh my god,
Oh, you got to do the voice.
oh my, because that's how they sounded it.
Don't do that, bro.
That's how it was.
They
That edit button's amazing, right?
Yo,
Oh,
investors. This is where the investors like bloop,
Oh
Yeah,
man.
restaurant plans.
Yeah, what that
Oh,
I
for
know.
real?
Yeah, I can't say that.
That's the mute button
I can't
right
say
there.
that.
All right, cool.
But I went Pride. Like I'm for their rights. Just
Alright,
the
man.
music wise, I'll check out.
So shout out Tyler for being
I don't even
so
know.
bold as to do that, and also shout out YBN Corday for a great album.
Bro, he can rap. Yo, he can rap.
The Lost Boy.
This is
He
his
can
week,
rap.
man.
He
Yo.
has a big future.
This
Yeah,
is
me.
his
I gotta
week.
say thank you for that. Yeah,
It's
you
his
brought him
week,
onto my
man.
radar. Your YBN.
I haven't checked him out yet.
Yo, he can
rap.
Like, he can rap. Like Yemi brought him onto my radar. I was
Fire.
Yeah, I remember.
Yo, he can rap. He can rap.
Fire. And that whole YBN crew, man, they're different. Like, they're not all spitters like who do the whole boom bap shit. They're not. Some of them do trap. Like Namir is the same group, right? YBN Namir. Like he makes like fucking like trappy sort of bassy stuff. It's just a fucking cold collective, man. Cold
he's
collective.
next up. He's next up. He's definitely next.
check him out.
No, YBN Corday.
Oh, should I check him out?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yo, like generally he can.
Peter's the type to listen to us, just like massively like talk up a whole thing and be like, "Yo, should I check him out?"
I'm surprised he didn't call him Whack. Just because his name's YBN.
Because I'm not really desperate to check out new rappers.
You gotta stop that, man.
Bro, we got a podcast.
But why though?
Because we got a podcast
You
on
gotta
music.
stop that. Like,
No, maybe because
man, like, there's no added fucking alpha by being the guy who's like so stand. Just listen to it all, bro.
No, I'm
Like,
not even trying. I'm not trying to be that guy. Just
you
naturally.
gotta have an opinion on everything, man.
I can tell you why. You've got a hip hop podcast.
That's one firm reason.
I mean, but I can listen to it as and when.
No, but I feel like it's
But
good
what
for
if
you
you want to talk
kinda-
about it?
Like,
You
say
know?
right now,
I'll
me and
listen.
him. Say me and him.
You have a responsibility to be caught up on all current affairs, goddammit. So you can
if
talk
they're
about
good,
it.
you ain't got to listen to every single rap. But if we're saying, yo, YBN.
Hey man, if he's not gonna listen to us when we say it, he's not gonna listen to anybody else.
But generally, no, check him out.
That's what I'm asking. No,
Check him out. I didn't know he was that good until you posted his song. It was when he done Song of the Week. I was like,
I'll
yo,
check him
wait
out.
a minute. He actually gets busy.
No,
100%.
no, check him out.
Nah, he's dope. He's dope.
Check it out. Right, guys, we're gonna end it there. So thank you very much, Rich, for joining us.
God bless you,
Big
brother.
up, big up.
Would you like? Would you like to plug your socials or anything like that? Or
Absolutely fucking not.
I feel you. Feel you. Okay, cool.
I told you my name at the beginning.
Yo, much appreciated, bro.
me.
Much appreciated, bro.
Music coming?
Thank you, guys.
New music coming?
Yeah, music's coming.
Calm.
That's how we're gonna leave
That's
it.
what we like to hear.
My wonderful music is coming soon for your head top.
Respect for that.
You know,
Would you be a plant if they offered it to you?
that's a good question.
Would I be a plant? If it meant that I gave up all of creative control, then absolutely not.
What if he was allowed to do what you do, but they back you without,
absolutely,
but without
bro.
them saying they don't back you?
Absolutely. I will jump into all of the positions that I feel I can absolutely dominate, and I'll dominate them, and I will remain there for many, many years. For me, it's not a problem with the opportunities being laid out. I think artists need to have more opportunities gifted to them because they are geniuses who make our lives better, right? That's not the issue. My issue is the narrative that they're independent and this is all the fucking struggle as they're going along. So any industry person, any label wants to put really talented people in positions where they can turn their greatness into another level of greatness. I encourage you to continue to do that because there are a lot of great artists out there. But just don't feed us the bullshit that it's all independent and it's all a struggle because in many cases it's not.
And on that note,
P, you want to say anything?
That sounded mad serious. Can we say, can someone just like, I don't know, say something that's funny because that was so serious.
Big up Shoudo.
me and Flex looking in the
Fuck
index.
Shoudo. Fuck Shoudo.
Wow.
He's one of my best mates in the world, but fuck him.
So you can say
He's
that,
fucking, he wears short sleeved hoodies and it fucking pisses me off.
Would you two do
people
an
should
album
stop that.
together?
Would I do an album with him? If he wore a short sleeve hoodie to the studio, we'd fucking fight. So there'd be no album.
Can I executive produce it?
Absolutely not.
And on that note, guys, we're gonna finish there. Thank you very much.
Yo, you've been trying to end this for a while, you know.
Hey!
Mo Peter, any final thoughts?
Nah, man, God is good.
Is your name Peter?
I wanna executive produce an album.
Yo, end the podcast, fam. Oh yeah, I got one more.
No, but we've spoken about this.
I want to end it one more way, actually.
I genuinely want to because I feel like I can like bring some crazy beats.
Let's just let him end it.
Crazy beats.
Yo,
I'm being dead serious.
Just soul samples everywhere.
I do want to end it
No,
one way,
not
though.
by me, but just I could curate.
Yuck. Go ahead.
Can I just end it by saying, shout out to Nicolas Pepe, who has brought us back to the golden era.
Yeah, I'm going home, man.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. And tune in a couple of weeks' time. We'll be back for episode 13. Take care. Peace.